Hey yo, hey
We
yo,
here.
hey yo.
We here. What
What's
it
good,
do?
boy?
Hoodies up. Word to the hoodies. You know what I'm saying? I'm over here
Word
just
to the
enjoying
hoodies.
my Thursday night right now.
They still moving around outside the
They
hoodies?
are, in fact. I think they just did a Funk Flex freestyle, if I'm not mistaken.
I gotta tap in.
Yeah, man. I'm over here just about to be double cupped up. About to have the treason ready. I just had some well marinated chicken. Black guy stuff. You know what I mean? Shout out to the guys over at Black Eye Wrestling Podcast. Great
Yo,
episode. The
word
food
up.
was dope for that one, man.
That was so fire.
People ready for another collaboration, whether it's just with them or like another show. They just like seeing us, just
Yeah, we're moving around now. Like the
yeah, they
the
like seeing us move
foundation is
around.
solidified. This is episode 79. I know specifically with the Black Guy Wrestling Pod, we're gonna link when we hit the town in
Headed down
Philly
to
and all that. You know what I
Philly.
mean? That's coming up pretty soon, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, something like that. That was a good time, bro. That
Did
was
we
a real
miss
good time.
Boston? Apparently, we didn't get the memo.
Boston?
Yeah, for Boston for this past Dynamite. I feel like we didn't get the memo there. It's like,
Oh, I
damn, look at
wasn't
the
breezing through for
timeline.
that.
Look at the timeline. I was like, God damn,
Nah,
everybody
there
was
was some
on
heads
deck
out
for
there.
this one.
There
Yeah.
was some heads out there. I saw the whole those wrestling girls like family tree was out there.
I see Victor Perry was out there.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
man,
Mr.
people
Perry
was
was
on
out there.
deck. I was like, damn, yo, this would have actually been a good link right here. Why didn't we
Yeah, that's
think
true.
about this? So I don't
That's
know why I
true.
didn't think about it. But we getting ready for WrestleMania.
Yeah, we got
That's
that
what we
coming
like.
up, and then this summer there's a bunch of forbidden doors here. Forbidden doors around the corner. You know what I'm saying? So
That is true. We do got Arthur Ashe and Jewel. So you're right. We
yeah,
can stay. We
that
stay
that might
local.
be the move.
We'll be local.
Yeah, yeah. There's some
Forbidden
moves
Door in New
happening.
York, though.
Huh?
That is going to be a goodie. You know what I'm
Nah, that's
saying?
gonna be crazy.
That's going to be pretty damn fire, man. I can't front. We're going to get a whole lot of our New Japan CMLL stardom on with that one. Yeah, man. Just going to be fire.
Yeah,
What's the
man.
RSC?
We don't even need to do no real intros. We just get right to the shits, man. You know what it
We
is, man.
here.
Every Thursday, somewhere between the hours of 9 and 10, Thursday Night Live. It's your boys, the Ringside Club. Usually four, but we dynamic duo vibes tonight. You know how it is, man. First and foremost, make sure you check out theringsideclub.com. All the past episodes are there, all the future episodes are there, all the law takes written by your good sir Chad Law. They're right there. Make sure you tap in. You can follow us across all social media. You can watch live. You can catch us on demand, all podcast platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and of course YouTube for the videos. Once again, peace to the Black Guy Wrestling Pod for having us on their show this past Sunday. You can check out that show, man. We had a good time. And yeah, we're here tonight, man. You know me, former RSC predictions, pay-per-view predictions champ.
The
I
former.
go by the name of A.O. Baker, man. To my left, my right, whichever way you want to do it. The current champ. What's good, boy?
I'm here live and direct, man. You know what I mean? Home of the Empire Tri State, the RSC Predictions Heavyweight Champion. Finally back where he needs to be at the top of this division, man.
Gonna hold it down till Mania, right?
I thought I was going to be joined by the two-man power trip, Blame Boogie, but he is currently out on assignment. You know what I mean? Ron Don took his loss and he went ghost, so it just be like that sometimes. You know what I mean? Ron said, I ain't showing up to work, man. It's over. I lost my belt. I ain't popping out. I was like, how convenient. How convenient was this? But we good, though,
Yeah.
man. And shout out to everybody that's tapped into the law takes. You know what I'm saying? I do my best to recap everything that's going on, every single show. Tonight, we got TNA Impact. That's going to be getting watched, reviewed. Salute to all the writers out there, man. Like, this shit is definitely something that just really, you got to be in this shit. You know what I mean? You can't just, you got to know what you're talking about. You got to watch the product. A lot of people definitely want to make their comments and shit. And I know that people are reading because I got a DM from somebody that doesn't even follow the RSC page that said, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about by not giving this Dynamite a 10 out of 10. So I know people are reading and watching, man. Whether they want to even say it or not, they just reading the articles and just going, this guy's like, the articles are
Hey,
falling in line with, the other reviews that go on. And because it's fresh, they're like, yo, I'm going to check it out. And yeah, I got
that's
a
dope.
DM this morning that said, yo, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. So I just thought that was actually mad amusing. Like, you don't even follow, like, the pages. You just, like, read the article and was just like, nah, fuck this guy. Like, I
the,
thought that
the
was
the
mad
reach is
funny.
growing, man.
I thought that was really funny, actually.
That's funny. That's
So
funny. Nah, it was a great Dynamite, but nah, it wasn't. I don't. It's hard to have a 10 out of 10 TV show, and that was not a 10 out of 10.
You know what it was,
It was
yo?
dope.
If you didn't give this past episode of Dynamite a 10 out of 10, you were looked at as a fucking AEW hater. You were the worst person.
I
Like,
wouldn't say that, right? Because like all of the pods that I usually tap into, like immediately, like in the morning when I'm making coffee and all that, they probably are gonna have similar takes to what we're gonna say today, from the standpoint of there were mostly all really dope things that happened, but there were a couple things that I just didn't like. Period. So
fair.
how could that be a 10 out of 10?
That's what I really was. I even look back. I was just like, did I not give this show like a good standing? And on that last week, I was geeked. This week was even bigger, so I was like, maybe
I
I should
like
give it
this
a try.
episode a lot better. Not even a lot better. I like this episode better than last week's Dynamite. Even though like I was probably the low guy. I like probably like the second hour of last week's Dynamite more so than I did, the first hour. There were
Right.
things that people, kind of praised or kind of liked or whatever that I just really wasn't feeling. Like the opening segment to me was just so many logic gaps and holes in there.
That
But some people,
was.
yeah, there were just so many things that I was just like, nah, I can't get with it. But yeah, man, let's talk specifics, man. Where you want to start? You want to start AEW or start WWE?
Let's start with the week, yo. Let's just go in order with the week. Did we
So we,
where
we
we
were on with the Black Guy Wrestling Pod on Sunday,
did we
and
talk
then we had
SmackDown
Monday
with
Night
them? We
Raw.
didn't talk SmackDown with them, did we? Anything happen on SmackDown?
Probably a little bit. I mean,
Cody slap?
yeah, the biggest things coming out of SmackDown was really
Because we
like
don't
Cody smacking The Rock.
we don't usually
That
talk SmackDown because of the time cycle, but
it's a weird, yeah, it's a weird little schedule right there. It's a weird schedule. Your Rock was out here. He said, "Man, you're a mistake." You know what I mean? He said that right to Cody's face. First of all, let's talk a little bit about the stipulations, right? Like the match is official. The stipulations have been agreed to. On night one, the main event is going to be Cody teaming up with Seth Rollins against The Rock and Roman Reigns. And the stipulation
yes.
is if The Rock and Roman Reigns win, it's bloodline rules, meaning pretty much anything goes. There's going to be all kind of bloodline family members. The entire Samoan dynasty is popping up. Or if Cody and Seth win, then it's just flat out 1-on-1. You know what I mean? For Cody's 1-on-1 match against Roman, it's a 1-on-1 match, no interference, no special, rules, no shenanigans. And then it
Before we
got a
go
little
further,
personal.
over under how many times that stipulation is going to be explained between now and WrestleMania.
Yo, there's such an interesting gap, right, between the way that WWE has everything on repeat and the way that AEW says nothing. So if you didn't watch, you don't know.
Yeah, good
There's no
observation.
like the middle ground sometimes is just not existent because WWE is going to repeat and replay and repeat and
Yo,
replay.
fam, they
You
had
know what I
a
mean?
whole ending 40, what was it, 40 minutes almost? 30 something like just
That
to
last one, yeah, it might have been shorter. I think it was 20. That's why they put him at the end of the show instead of the beginning because the last episode, my man went 45 minutes and that's the first hour of the show, dog.
all just to reiterate, yo, the stipulations for WrestleMania night one. If you were to lose,
There was no new information.
it was just like,
There was no new information. It was basically Cody and Seth showing up to say, "I agree, I'm down." You know what I mean? Like there was no new information right there. There was no new information in Cody's promo on Monday. There's nothing really new that you can do here as far as developments, I don't think.
no.
Which is fine at this point because we're what 2 weeks, 3 weeks away from Mania, so there's not really going to be any new developments. This match has been solidified and set up for over a month now. The tag match.
All right, so I guess since we're just talking SmackDown, rare time for the RSC where we get on SmackDown talk, but let me just go run down some of the things that I took note of. Tiffany Stratton, she's on a rocket ship to the top right now. How do you feel about Tiffany Stratton?
Yo, she's taking to the main roster really naturally. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't watching too tough in NXT. I mean that moonsault is beautiful. She falls in line with that Trish Stratus family tree that we know WWE has always pushed. You know what I mean? And she's doing her thing.
The Trish
She's
Stratus
doing
agenda.
yeah. You know what it is, man.
Yeah,
You know what it is.
you know the vibes. Yeah.
But it's yeah. She's taken to SmackDown like really naturally. You know what I mean?
She is.
I don't know what. So it looks like maybe Mania. I don't know if the Mania match is her and Naomi. I'm not sure what she's doing in Mania. You know what I mean?
I think she wins Money in the Bank this year.
But what does she do at Mania though? Like, does she have a slot at Mania, or is she just staying hot on TV and shows up for
On
Mania, but she doesn't have a big part?
what is it? The Fabulous Moolah and Mae Young Battle Royal.
They did that last year.
If
I
they
don't even
didn't,
know.
they probably will again this year because the roster's even bigger than before. So they got to give Naomi something to do, Tiffany something to do, Candice LeRae. There's a lot of people that need something to do just for the fillers. So
Looks
I
like
think
Naomi's mixing it up a bit with Bianca, whether they team up or they go at each other.
do you think Bianca goes heel? Or
I think it might be time just to freshen her moves up a bit.
I agree.
I think it might be time to freshen her moves up. Like, I'd love to see, the NXT version of Bianca on SmackDown. Why
It's
not?
long overdue for her to turn heel.
Yeah.
Well, even
I
just a
just
character pivot.
I think it's just a character pivot. I think it's like what I don't want to see happen to her is her kind of take the John Cena role where it's like, damn, like you would have been able to stay fresh if you just kind of flip flopped a bit here and there. You don't want to big show it, but you don't want to John Cena it.
I
Like
see
John
her
Cena,
going Hangman, like in a little bit of the Hangman-ish of like, yo, I'm not crazy. You're all crazy. Like
yo, her
y'all.
logic is sound. Yeah, her
Yeah,
logic as far as like, yo, I've been here. You just got back here. They've been, but the thing about all great villains, I think I might have said this on Sunday, all great villains do have a bit of logic. It's just that they also lose their mind somewhere in the middle of that. There is something relatable to a lot of villain origin stories. So if this is her turning heel, she's had beef on the main roster with with Bailey and all of them for the entire year. They debuted and formed as a crew at the end of her match. Was that last year's Mania?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So from about a year ago, she would be justified if she turned heel.
Tiffany Bianca will be a focal point feud over the course of this year, no matter what. And I just think Tiffany wins Money in the Bank. Michin, on the other hand, I don't think she'll have anything else much to do other than be here. You know what I'm saying? Wild turn of events for Mia Yim. You know what I mean? When she returned. But I don't think anyone really expected her to be like the top of the top. But I just think she just presented herself really well throughout her journey. So I would just think, why doesn't she just get more, you know?
So I mean, they had her running with AJ Styles and the Good Brothers for a bit, which felt weird to me.
That
Um,
was random.
that was mad random.
I had to do the Googles. Like, did they have a prior history or something?
Yo, the name change from Mia Young to Mishin. What's it? Not Mia Yim, not Mia
Mia
Young.
Yim to Michin.
Yeah, like that. Was there ever reasoning given as to why there was a sudden name change?
I just think Kevin Patrick kept saying Michin and then it just stuck. And he didn't stick, and then the name changed. So that's how that name came about to me. But I'm sure there's a backstory to it. I don't know, man. Every time I see her, I just feel like, fuck, she can't get a win to save her life right now, bro.
There's some people I think that just unfortunately just get pigeonholed as like great worker for somebody to put somebody else over. And I think she's kind of fallen into that category. Like, I think the best move as far as creatively, if you want to push her, is probably going to come as a tag before it will come as a singles for her.
Which is surprising because of all the makeshift bedfellows they making. I'm surprised she
She
don't
was
got a
never
tag
involved.
team partner. She don't
Yeah,
got no tag team partner. So it's
yeah.
like you can't send her to NXT because trust that division is way too crowded right now for Mia Yim to just come through and just try to get a shot because ain't no way she gonna get past the broads, the line of broads that are going on in NXT right now. So angry heel AJ Styles, I'm rolling with it. It's not the worst thing he could be doing right now, you know.
So his lineup is pretty much him and LA
LA
Knight
Knight,
at Mania.
yes.
Yeah.
They're giving us a reason why you should care about their feud. LA Knight's not the best worker. He's overrated. And AJ Styles is going to just teach him a lesson, Professor Styles. So, if there was a pay-per-view before WrestleMania, this feels like it would be one of the more focal pointed matches. But
This
this
feels
will
like
get
a
them both.
real. I mean, the fact that this is only happening at WrestleMania because there's 2 nights at WrestleMania.
Facts, facts, facts.
That's it. You know what I mean? Like, this is not a Mania match.
It's wild,
which
though,
is
that,
which
like,
is interesting. Like, LA Knight was hot as fish grease a couple months back, and AJ Styles is AJ Styles, but this is not a Mania match to
all
me.
right, so give me your Booker brain pause. Why would they go? Why would they pivot Logan and into Randy Orton, Kevin Owens, and not keep the LA Knight Logan Paul?
Man, I don't know because I wouldn't have done it.
You would have done the
I
match. You wouldn't have pivoted.
No, I would have had. I would have done the L.A. Knight versus Logan Paul. I thought we were going there the whole time.
We all did. I
You
think
know what I
that was
mean?
what. I think that's what fucked us all up because we all was like, "Oh, they
Yeah,
get a
I
few."
think that back and forth would have been so dope. Like the shit talking would have been pretty fire between the two of them. And that's
Yes,
really all you need. Like LA Knight is here to talk shit. LA Knight is not here to wrestle. You know, like the bell rings and you're gonna get a body slam and a suplex. You know what I mean? Like we're not
yes.
reinventing the wheel with LA Knight. But the athleticism and the attitude of Logan Paul would have made up for that. Just like the athleticism of and the skill of AJ Styles is gonna make up for
He's
that.
gonna make that
I just
match.
think the back and forth between the two of them would have been fucking legendary, you know? And there's a little bit of heat there. Plus you figure like I thought by now, because LA Knight is not the world champ, that they would have put him into that,
U.S.
ICUS.
title.
Yeah. And have him get his version of a big win at Mania. And I think he beats AJ Styles, which is crazy. Like, what AJ Styles, dog? Like,
He could take those L's though, and it'll be alright for him.
I don't.
Which
I get it.
sucks.
I get it. But it's AJ Styles, man. Like, what are we
You're right.
doing?
You're right. I feel the same way when I be seeing it. I'm like, damn, he's the stepping stone guy now. Like, he really won't have another world title reign like ever again,
I don't
probably.
think he ever will.
Yeah. So, which
I
is
don't think. I
wild
don't,
because
I
he
don't
can
think he
still
ever
put on
will.
some bangers. And I hope LA and AJ show people that this match that they're gonna have at WrestleMania won't be a match that people go to the bathroom on. I think it'll be a sleeper match of the night because of how AJ
Depends on
worked.
where it's put. It really depends on where it's put.
True.
Because like once we
True, true,
start to
true.
see that lineup, what comes before that match, what match is this coming before? I don't think so though.
There's
I
a
don't think so because I think people still fuck with
yeah.
LA Knight. Like LA Knight in a WrestleMania crowd is gonna be fun.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can't see that being like the bathroom break pit stop before the tag team match. Like that's a match 3 type of vibe that I get from that type of name. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a cool like we
They
haven't
could
started the
open.
show.
That
Yeah,
could
we
open
started
one.
the show.
Yeah, that could open. I
The
would have
tag
like
team
LA Knight comes out first. If he's the first entrant of the night, that's a
pop,
perfect slot for him.
super
Exactly.
pop, super
Exactly.
pop for WrestleMania. The tag team of Randy Orton and Kevin Owens is yet another strange bedfellow tag team. I didn't realize I needed, but I want them. Pause.
I don't care.
I mean, Kevin
I
Owens
really
is
don't.
always just going to have a makeshift tag team partner, as is Randy Orton. And the two of them just work really well together because of their history of turning on people. And they're just so babyface, gung ho, ready to kick somebody's ass that it just works. And they're also both like, hey, are you going to turn on me? No? All right, cool. Fist bump.
Yeah, I don't know. This ain't really stirring my drink, dog. Like
Nah?
I don't really care.
Shit. I mean, it's the 3-way that we all weren't really asking for that's going to happen at WrestleMania for that U.S. title. So I guess we'll take it for what it is now.
Think
You
Logan
know?
retains? That'd be a big ass win for him.
No, I think Randy actually wins. I
Has he
think
ever had? He's had the U.S. title before, right?
he has, and he's actually defended it at WrestleMania, if I'm not mistaken. I defended it or
Uh,
won at WrestleMania from like Jinder Mahal, which is fucking crazy. So that's a possibility that match is going to be the 3-way with Randy Orton winning, and I could see that happening. But KO
yeah,
deserves some spotlight too, so it could go either way. Unpredictable match that one is for sure.
yeah.
The Latin American division continues to run circles on SmackDown. This week, Dragon Lee got his chance to shine as he squashed Garza and then took a massive beatdown from Legado del Fantasma. Um, More of the Latin American division, I guess. Revolving door, rinse cycle, repeat.
Love for them to move on and do different things. You know what I mean? Like it's lazy ass booking, dog. Like let's just put all the LWO and Legato, put them together. Like come on, man.
Every week, we are going to get a variation of these guys having a match. And this coming Friday on SmackDown, I can't wait to see Joaquin Wilde versus Escobar.
Yeah. Like I'm ready. I'm ready for Rey Mysterio to have that match, get his revenge. You know what I
Yes.
mean, and wrap this up.
That match between Escobar and Ray at WrestleMania could definitely be
Yeah,
a show stealer as well, too. I think
hundred
that's going to
percent.
be a quiet banger right there with that match. So,
Yeah, 100%. Like That's a big match for Escobar too. Like a Mania match against Ray is pretty important. You know what I mean? So that's
Yes,
a good little feud for him. And then Dragon Lee is always right there in the mix. I'm just ready for like just split up and let's just do some different things. You know what I mean? Like I would love to see Dragon Lee in that U.S. Maybe not in that match, but in that division, in the U.S. title division.
agreed.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Pivot.
let's switch it up.
One of my law takes we both agreed on. Well, kind of were right there on the same boat. But I'd said about Andrade. I'm like, yo, just keep him far away from the fucking Latin American division on SmackDown, and I'll be all right. And you were just like, yo, Andrade and Judgment Day. I'm interested. It's cool. See what it here
Yeah,
for.
because like it seems random at first, but I'm also thinking about some of the matchups. Like an Andrade Finn Balor match is pretty dope. You know what I mean? Whatever situation happens out of those, I think the matches are going to be pretty interesting.
That's a banger.
Like, yeah, a Dom Mysterio versus Andrade match could be fun. You
Agreed.
know, some of these matchups could be dope. I don't think he joins. I'm not sure exactly, or it could be interesting where maybe we see. I don't think this happens, but there could be a situation where he replaces one of the members of the Judgment Day. We've been waiting for Damian Priest at some point or another for Rhea to kick him out. Right? What happens when he unsuccessfully tries to cash in that Money in the Bank? How does Rhea react to that?
We're going to touch base on that on Raw when we get to Raw, but boy, oh boy, am I sick of that Money in the Bank briefcase.
Yes, sir.
Let's see. The countdown to future endeavors begin when I watch Final Testament face off against a faction that still doesn't get called by their name because it's pretty terrible, aka Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits. Pack this feud up, send Karrion Kross back to NXT to help that main event scene, and put Bobby Lashley in a program that will put him back in contention for a world title.
I have no faith. We have to see what happens with the world title at Mania for me to really be able to judge what the world championship division looks like, right? Like I think let's say Cody wins. I think they're gonna just kind of go on a run over the summer of really really fresh matchups. Like Cody and Bobby on paper seems weird, but it's weird because we haven't seen Cody interact with too many people since he's been
Man,
back.
Cody Bobby could actually be pretty fucking
You know what I mean? Like Cody and Bobby
yeah.
could be pretty interesting. We see whatever's happening with the Street Profits. Whether this be a split, like what does Montez? We've been kind of waiting for him to be the breakout guy for the longest. I don't know if this happens to be that direction or not, but that world title picture. If Roman wins at Mania, you know Bobby hasn't
Challenged him at
challenged
all. He
since
hasn't
he's
even
been
said his
there yet
name.
either. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Like he hasn't even said Roman Reigns' name this entire time they've been on SmackDown together. He's been passed over
yeah.
with everybody. So
But
I
it's just
want
one of
better.
those things where whether it's Cody or Roman, I don't really see it being a Bobby win either way.
Maybe Bobby won't win, but at least have him be in the title picture. At least have him be up there and be a threat. Because he could be doing way more than just feuding with Karrion Kross for the next 3 months, which feels like it's going to be inevitable. They're going to have a strap match, a cage match, a last man stand. They're going to have every gimmick match between the two
Yeah,
of them to kill time,
yeah,
while AOP killed Street Profits in the same time. So
yeah.
we touched base on Cody slap. There wasn't really much to write home about that. Outside of the match is official, stipulations are going to go crazy if they come about. And, that was SmackDown. You know what I'm saying? SmackDown pretty much flies by if you're watching it. Whether you watch it live or on repeat, that show just
Yeah,
soaring.
SmackDown moves. I mean, for the most part, like I'm tuning in to see what's happening. Like, what's The Rock gonna say? You know, that's pretty much that's what's selling those tickets.
I agree.
What's The Rock gonna say?
I agree. I watched TNA Sacrifice. I don't know if you got to catch it.
Nah.
Yeah, TNA had a pay-per-view that same night, a lot of wrestling that night. I couldn't catch Rampage, unfortunately, y'all. I had to just give up only 2 shows that night, so I went TNA Sacrifice. I'll run it down briefly. You can chime in with some of your takes as well, too. The Digital Media Championship really is a pre-show title, and that's just very new to see for a company right now. It feels like the Cruiserweight title for WWE. Crazy Steve retained against Joe Henry, the former champion. And essentially, he won't have a reign that matters since it's only pre-show activity because the focus here is AJ Francis and Joe Hendry. Those two are having a feud right now that's transcending across social media. AJ Francis, he is actually doing some pretty all right things getting over. He got Who Kid with him. So I mean, shit, you got Who Kid with him. I can't even really be upset at this. You know what I mean? Joe Henry,
Who Kid is regular right now,
he's not
or just like
every
popping
week,
up? He
but
reoccurring.
He'll pops up
Okay.
recurrently when it matters. So that's
Okay.
cool. Joe Henry's getting over. I wasn't crazy in the beginning, but he's finally really just won me over with his creativity, the way he can actually command the crowd. I like it. Next up, I don't want to see Mike Bailey keep losing. Amazing efforts, then lose, but tonight was not the case. Well, at Sacrifice, it wasn't the case. Speedball finally got a W, even if it was a tag match. Shout out to Trent Seven for being a solid partner. Let's hope both raise up in the ranks of the tag division. I like the Rascals playing the minions to Steve Macklin right now, so I think this is a good role for them. Like I said, I just hope Mike Bailey can just get some more wins, yo. Like you are somebody that's been an advocate for Mike Bailey for a while. I'm late to the bandwagon party on that one, but I've just want to see him just win more, yo. Like he's the Johnny Gargano, but way better of TNA. Like he's just a good hand, and I just don't think Mike Bailey should be doing that. He should be having good quality feuds and reigns. You know what I mean? Nick Nemeth, he's on deck, and he actually had a great match with Steve Macklin. He didn't have the IWGP Global title with him, but he did beat Macklin pretty clean. You know what I mean? Him and Macklin, I think, are going to be having a back and forth feud for a while. Right now, Nemeth is tentatively on the hunt for the TNA title, but so is Macklin. So they're kind of in that, number one contender ish bubble of like, yo, every match counts in regards to how we get to this world title. Like, if you beat me, I'm coming back for another one. So that's why I think they're going to be intertwined for a little while. And Macklin has a faction now. So he's getting over. Steve Macklin is getting over. Let's see. ABC versus Brian Myers and Eddie Edwards of the System for the TNA tag titles. Still feels very weird to see Brian Myers, Eddie Edwards, and Moose in a faction. It feels like a buddy cop movie. It feels almost like I'm just watching like a. It feels like a comedy. A dead ass feels like a comedy watching these three random guys be in a faction called the System. Like it's still wild. ABC, I thought were for sure gonna dog walk these guys. They're the dominant face champions. Everyone loves them, but Myers and Edwards' dope backpack stunner elbow combination end up taking the belts from ABC. So now the System have all the gold in TNA, which is what you need for your dominant heel faction, right?
Yeah, I think it's good to see. Like, if you want to establish that this is where the power is,
Yes.
throw the titles right there. Your top of the line tag team, your top of the line, you know, world
I
championship, and even a
didn't
mid
see them
card
winning.
title. Yeah,
I didn't see them winning. Yo, I really thought ABC were going to dog walk them and just be like another title defense, back of the line losers, but they actually came clean and they took the titles from them. So the System hold all the gold for the most part. In my pack it up match of the night, Khan versus PCO was the train wreck we expected it to be. These two won't stop even after the match kept going. PCO is always a good hand to do anything to kill time. Khan is determined to get over by any means. Khan and Alan Angels are paired up right now. They're both trying to reinvent themselves. PCO is always going to just be a helping hand. Really a car crash of a match. Um, the women's tag match came and went. New tag team champions. It's not many women in the tag division of TNA right now. So this isn't a surprise title change. And it's back to the ABC question of where the former champions go next. I can't call it. I just think this is going to be another strange bedfellows flop the tag titles back and forth situation that TNA seems to fall in line of. Hammerstone versus Josh Alexander 2. It's a banger. Hell of a match that one was. Hammerstone's going to be a great heel for Impact. And I just hope he stays away from the System.
I saw a clip. I think I saw the end of this match. Hammerstone's a good fit in TNA.
Hell
He
yeah.
did everything that he could in MLW, and as a heel, he looks like somebody that you should hate. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like he has a very very hateable aura about him. Um, so I'm interested to see how far he actually goes. What's his
I don't
contract
want.
like over there?
I don't think we've. I don't think the contract has been public in regards to what
Uh,
he's doing, like terms and shit.
he's
But I just
signed there, but yeah, I'm curious like how long his contract is over there.
you would think he wouldn't have such an extensive contract after coming out of the MLW fucking prison. You
Listen,
know what I'm saying? But
anything less than the 17-year contract that he just got out, he was
that's
in the
what I'm saying.
360. You know what I mean? Anything less than that is probably good money. You know.
I just want Hammerstone to stay away from Moose in the system. I don't want him to be the Wardlow to Moose's Adam Cole or any of that sort. I just want Hammerstone to stand on his own. That's all. I think they're gonna have a rubber match in the next pay per view, and they're probably gonna get a 30-minute Iron Man. I'm gonna call that now. I say 30-minute Iron Man for the two of them. Rubber match, it's only right, and they put on great matches, so I could see them easily killing that match. Nightmare Pendulum is a cool fucking move, guys.
It's one of my favorites.
Just protect
One
your
of my
legs.
favorites.
Because the way Savio Vega took that shit in MLW, like,
Shit, I mean, I don't understand how he doesn't knock people out. Like this,
Savio
you
took it
can't.
wrong, and his legs just look like this, my nigga. Like
Nah,
that shit
but
look
like
like it
think
hurt.
all that weight is coming. You can't like you know how you're supposed to tuck your chin so you don't bang the back of your head. You can't tuck your chin on that move, bro.
That look like dog.
You know what I'm saying? Like, imagine that in a hardcore match where he's dropping you outside or on a chair or something like that. You're done.
Yeah, like
Darby
you
would take
gotta
it.
be done. You gotta be done after that one.
Yeah.
6-man tag of the Grizzly Young Vets and the X Division champion Mustafa Ali versus Time Machine, consisting of Kushida, Alex Shelley, and Chris Sabin, who are currently imploding within their own group. And another year of TNA, maybe last year, this could have been the main event. You know what I'm saying? It was actually pretty fucking strong, yo. I think this was gonna be a damn good match, whether I was expecting it to be or not. Like, you got some quality fucking names in here between Grizzly Young Vets, Mustafa, Sabin, Kushida, Alex Shelley. You can't lose with that one. So that one rocked. Alex Shelley, I don't know what happens here. I guess a feud with Kushida up next. Chris Sabin won't get the hell away from the X Division title scene. You just won't stop. Like he's got to stop, yo. Like Chris Sabin, you got to stop, man. You gotta just stop, bro. Let other people get a shot at this fucking X Division championship, man.
Man, about to be a 40-time champ, dog.
Yo, dog, he won't stop, bro. Like he's gonna come out every time. Let's tell you guys something. I was also an X Division champion. Yes, Chris, we know you were.
Word, bro.
We know, bro. You've got the most reigns here, my dude. Like,
Yo,
back of
give
the
me some
fucking
new
line,
information, my guy.
back of the fucking line, yo. And Mustafa Ali executes probably one of the best 450 splashes I think I've ever seen.
Yo, he's not a small dude, bro. Like
No,
even
no.
before he left the E, he was, he's pretty
He was
tall.
getting bulky. He was
He's
getting brocky.
bigger now.
Yeah.
Like the
He
last
looks like
live match I saw, he had. A matter of fact, it was against Saban in House of Glory. Though he's a big dude. You know what
he
I mean? Like
looks
so,
like
for
he
him to
took
be
his
able to
time
pull
to
off a
get right.
450, there's some velocity on the up end of that.
It's a smooth 450, man. It rocks. Ash by Elegance. I think she'll be Knockouts champion by Slammiversary. I don't care what anyone says.
Mm.
I think she's going to be the one to take out Jordan Grace.
That sounds crazy to me, dog. Is like
Yeah,
who else is
man.
actually a contender over there? Like I like Danny Luna. Danny Luna is a favorite of
Two
mine, but
new,
she's
two who's who. Zaya
mm,
Brookside is going to get on Billy level Starks of like getting over, but she's still got some time to go. Tasha Steeles, I don't think is going to be the one to end Jordan Grace's reign. Who else we missing here? Masha Slamovich has just had nonstop title opportunities and can't ever come up to get the big one. So I just think they're going to keep her in the tag division. Either going to turn one of the strange bedfellow tag teams into a singles, or give Giselle Shaw another shot. Because I would figure her to be the successor of Jordan Grace, but she came up short last pay-per-view. So I think back the line she goes until she gets her weight back up. I mean, I think Jordan holds the belt for pretty much the whole year. If Ash don't win it, I think Jordan just juggernauts the whole division the entire year, like Trinity did, how Deanna did. So, you know. And Eric Young should on-screen run TNA. Once his in-ring work is done, he should be the Scott D'Amore of this place. Nobody else from the TNA OGs is really left besides Kazarian, who has the cachet, respect, and demeanor to run that place. So whenever I see Eric Young on TNA, I feel like, yo, this guy could be the Triple H of this place. Like, he could be the face of TNA on the, you know.
yeah, that's what I thought. Like the authority figure role was what he was doing anyway, because I've seen him come out a couple of times before TNA shows,
Mm-hmm.
and like talk to the crowd, do the rah rah rah. When Scott D'Amore left, the first show back, I think he came out and talked to the crowd.
Yes.
Brought the whole roster out, stood behind him, and all that. So that'd be a good role for him.
As for the match him and Moose had, it was cool. I think Moose is gonna coast as TNA World Champion, like straight coast.
Yeah.
This whole year he's coasting, bro. There's nobody credible. Take the belt off him to fight him. The Josh Alexander match is gonna happen eventually, but that's not anytime soon. Josh Alexander's on his kick-ass tour right now.
Is Josh like pretty much the only credible contender for Moose as far as somebody you think can beat him?
Yeah, definitely,
Yeah.
100%. Until they give Hammerstone some wins,
Yeah,
it's only Josh
I think
Alexander.
that's why I think they're probably going to position Hammerstone in that slot, which is why they have him matched up with Josh Alexander now. Let's prep you against the guy, or at least the guy that's been the guy for the longest, and see how that looks. Because I think Hammerstone is probably the only other credible, like physically just looking at him, that's also still
Yes.
fresh because he hasn't been here yet. That could
I think Mike
be in that main
Santana
event
is
slot.
the only other guy too that can match up. Mike Santana, Josh Alexander, and Alexander Hammerstone is a very good, like
It's
that
interesting.
right there is
Yeah,
a nice way to
yeah,
build that main event scene in TNA.
yeah. It's fresh and like coming off of MLW, Hammerstone is a world champ. Coming out of House of Glory, Santana is a world champ, and it'd be smart for them to talk a little bit about that. You know, I don't know if they're going to mention MLW by name, but they would at least say this is a former world champion. You know what I mean?
Yes,
So just to kind of add to the prestige of like he hasn't been a world champion here, but yet, you know. So I think
absolutely.
that could be pretty dope.
I just say Moose Coast. That's all. That's really where my whole point came from. There isn't
Yeah.
anyone else. They're trying to give Kazarian a main event run. I'm just like, come on, man.
Kazarian is fucking not. He's boring.
That's what I mean by like with the Eric Young kind of shit, where it's like, yo, y'all giving us the TNA nostalgia main event run, and it's
Yeah,
just
I don't
like
want to see that.
we
My
did
favorite
Alex Shelley.
version
We did this
of
already.
Kazarian is in a tag team. He's an amazing tag team wrestler. When you put him next to somebody that's really, really dynamic, like a Christopher Daniels or like a Scorpio Sky, he's like
AJ
that.
Styles,
Like AJ Styles, he's like that constant, that
Michael
anchor, that
Sheen.
consistent guy that you already know what you're getting from him. But yeah, like not as a credible world title. He's not.
Nah, bro, he cost
Nah.
Eric Young this match. So I'm pretty sure it's gonna lead to them having a back and forth / number one contenders match, and then
Woo.
we'll probably see Kazarian versus Moose at the next TNA,
I'm
quick
ready to
strike.
shuffle up some of these slots, man.
Yo, honestly, I'm here for Santana. When I said future TNA World Champion Logan, people was like, yo, you should go to NXT. I feel you should go to NXT. But really, TNA
TNA is the move.
They need like a main event. Like the X Division, we got it covered. Like main event, we need
and I just
credible
think
main
that's
event.
such a storybook kind of conversation. Like you left here as one of the best tag guys, you're coming back as a credible world champion contender. So that growth right there is perfect. You have the homecoming pay per view that they do every year in Nashville. Like just perfect kind of story to
You
set that
bring
shit
in
up.
Puerto Ricans, you bring in New Yorkers, you bring in a good amount of audience to you as well, too. You know what I'm saying?
And for their main event division, their main event scene, that's a completely different look that we haven't had in a little bit.
We have
You know,
not had a
just
dominant Hispanic man in the TNA main event picture
yeah.
probably ever. So I think that was actually pretty good. Maybe Pentagon, but his reign lasted a day,
It
so
was
I don't
quick.
know.
Yeah, that was
That's
too
quick.
quick of a reign.
That was TNA, y'all. TNA Sacrifice. Like I said, I'm going to tap in tonight for TNA Impact. I can check the Law Takes out. You know what I mean? And
TheRingsideClub.com, man.
shoot the Raw. It's past Monday night, March
Yep.
11th. Regular 3-hour Raw. You know what we're going to get here. We're going to quick strike it for y'all. We'll see. We'll touch base on Nia Jax. She's going to be a thorn in the side of the women's division this entire year, and a thorn in the side of Rhea Ripley. And I'm here for her chaos. Like I'm just here for her just coming through to be a dominant force, fucking shit up all the time. Like
Yeah,
I'm all
so
for it.
they're building, what is it, the last woman standing match this coming Monday with her and Becky?
Is that confirmed?
I think so.
Shit.
I think that like she attacked Becky, challenged it or something. I think it was in the backstage segment. In like the trainer's room or something like that. And
Yes.
Becky was like, nah, I'm gonna see you next Monday. I think it's the last woman standing match.
So does this mean that Liv is going to cost Nia Jax the match to lead up to their singles match for WrestleMania Night 1?
Nia and Liv in a one-on-one match at Mania is insane.
Yo, fam, you gotta think Think about
Not
it.
with that.
They've only advertised like 2.5 matches for this fucking pay-per-view, yo. 2 nights. They got shit to fill the pay-per-view, yo.
Let me see what I'm gonna hit the Wikipedia while you're talking just to see like the entirety of what the card looks like
Yeah,
right
what
now.
the actual on paper, like, oh, I'm
Yeah,
paying my ticket for WrestleMania. What can I anticipate? A tag team match with Cody Rhodes and a singles match with Cody Rhodes. The end. So yeah, they got time to fill at 9:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sunday night. You know what I'm saying? I think Nia live. Squash. You gotta put these women here somewhere, man. You gotta put these women here somewhere. I will say, let's see. Allah, Becky Lynch, Bailey in the early Hugger era. I couldn't find much appeal in Dakota Kai. I wasn't really sold on this like Avril Lavigne skater girl thing. Like I wasn't really sure what the fuck was going on here. She just turns on her partner. She does all this, but now that she's become the mouthpiece for the Kabuki Warriors, I think this past Monday was the hottest she's looked physically, the hottest she's looked creatively, and I think she's going to be a dominant force in the women's division as a heel moving forward once she gets cleared.
here's the card right now. As far as like matches that they're building towards that haven't, I guess, officially been announced. Like we got Gunther and Sami Zayn.
Okay.
That's the IC.
So we have 3. We do have 3 matches.
We have Rhea Ripley and Becky Lynch.
4.
We have Io Sky and Bailey.
5.
And then there's a 6-pack ladder match for the tag, Judgment Day against 5 other teams. So that's 4 matches right there. And then we got the 2 Cody Rhodes matches, which is 6, and then Rollins and McIntyre.
And this is all spread out across 2 nights, by the way.
Yeah, it's 2 nights. Right now there's 6 matches across 2 nights. The only match I think that's officially like we know what's happening on what night is the Rock and Roman tag match against Seth and Cody. But we don't know what night is which outside of like the 4 of them, and then the Seth and Drew McIntyre match is going to be on night 2 also.
Yeah, man. We're going to have a lot of filler. It's just mad filler on the way, man. Nia Jax, Becky Lynch. No, I said Nia Jax, but Nia Jax, Liv Morgan, night 2 WrestleMania. It's going down.
But we still need the official direction for Bianca should be involved in something. Like there's still a couple of plays left, but yeah, I fear that you're right.
Shayna and Starks definitely were regular. They need a tag team name. Zoche was what I call them. Back of the line is what they're also going to be known as.
I like that team, bro. Like I really like their dynamic.
I like every tag team that Shayna Baszler does. She just always gets a tag team, but she just doesn't keep a tag team partner long. Yeah. You've really seen it.
But I think it's dope as far as like just the violence, you know what I mean? The violent nature that both of them bring to the table.
Yes, I agree.
Zoe Stark being somebody who stood out to me immediately. Again, not being a regular NXT watcher. The couple of times that I saw her, I was like, nah, there's something there. You know,
she should have been the champion if Mandy Rose didn't have her era and she wasn't, you know what I mean, having that run. Zoe Stark could have had a little run in during that time period. But Kabuki Warriors retain, and you know, whoever they're defending the belts against at WrestleMania, I don't think it really matters. It's probably going to be another multi-person match with every female tag team from every brand. Raw, SmackDown, NXT, all against Kabuki Warriors. That's the best way to get them on the pay-per-view. Come on, man. We only got 6 matches across 2 nights. We got shit to do.
Yeah.
Candice LeRae, this is the best she's looked ever, her entire time in all of WWE to me. One off-mic promo about a dead brother, and then 2 thumbs up for me, folks. I'm sold.
I fast-forwarded through this. So I don't really like Candice LeRae. To be frank.
She has no real personality. She is like literally pixie dust. She dresses like pixie dust, and she probably is as just poof pixie dust. You know what I'm saying?
I think there's certain people that fit better on a smaller stage, and I think she's like an NXT
lifer.
You know, should have been.
She should have been the champion over there a minute ago. She ain't had shit. She doesn't win anything. She's the Mia Yim comparison. She's got a Mia Yim vibe to her. But this
Yeah,
pivot right
I think
here,
she does better on like the Broadway instead of the Hollywood type of vibes. You know what I mean? Because like to me, I don't get like the big enough personality. Like Raw and SmackDown is about personalities way more than it's about the
fair.
wrestling. And she doesn't have a personality that's like that jumps off the page. And she's also not allowed to have, or she's not produced to have like amazing matches either. So there's nothing that she's able to do to really stand out outside of what she did on Monday.
That's why this is going to be different. This is the spark she needed.
But is it consistent though? Is it just a moment, or is it gonna? You know what I mean? Like that's
With
it's
a
one of those
great
wait and find
foil
out type of things.
like Maxine, who's a great worker in herself, man. Like, I just got to say, like, yes, I said Maxine Dupree's a great worker, y'all. Fuck you. You know what I'm saying? People want to just say, yo, Maxine Dupree's terrible. Yo, look at the list of women that have held the fucking women's championship before 2000 and before NXT existed. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've sat through some eras. I've sat through some eras, man. Miss Kitty was a champion at some point. You know what I mean? Like, Maxine's reactions is going to get her over, and the way she's acting, I think, can carry a lot of the shit too. It might not have to be the best matches, but she can work on screen. And this heel pivot for Candice was essential. People want to say Christian and they copied AEW. Yo, fam, look at the programs side by side every week. They copy each other all the time. So this is not surprising that that creative said, you know what? Let's take a page out of this book and make a comment about your dead relative. They didn't air it on a mic. They said it face to face in the ring, which was if we were sitting there live, we'd be like, "What the fuck is this match?" But at home, it was like, I actually like this direction. Indy don't know what she's doing. Indy's confused. But at the end of the day, it's going to create a tag team that works. It's going to create a heel tag team that is much needed in a tag team division that has nothing but makeshift bedfellow tag teams, anyways. That's all. It's my only takeaway from it. Our Truth was never beating Damian Priest, but he looked solid trying. At times, until Samantha Irvin or the name plaque makes mention, I really can forget that Damian Priest is Mr. Money in the Bank.
I saw a stat today or yesterday or something like that that he's roughly about a month away from being the longest reigning Money in the Bank, you know, briefcase
When did
holder.
Theory cash in his shit, though? Didn't Theory cash in his shit?
I don't know. I don't know, but like
I could have
this is a
swore Theory had his shit for a minute.
he did, but I think he's gonna lap him. He's
I
gonna
hope
lap
the
him.
2024 Money in the Bank winner just gets it over with in regards to the cash in, win or lose.
I'm honestly ready for the Money in the Bank to just kind of take a backseat for a little bit. They're not gonna do it at this point. It's a given. It's
No,
like
it's a staple.
yeah, it's the fifth pay per view, the fifth big pay per view. You know, as far as those top five pay per views with
That's
the Rainbow
why
and
I
Survivor
want
Series and all that.
an immediate cash in, yo. Like I remember, and I know people just be like, "Oh, the immediate cash in is predictable," but you know what? At least I know that you tried, as opposed to you. I'm the Mr. Money in the Bank briefcase, and it's like, dude, we don't even believe you'd win, even if you did it. At least if you won it the same night and you waited till the end of the night and then just teased it, or you actually did it. I'm here for those type of cash ins with Money in the Bank.
When he cashes in, is it successful?
No, he's not positioned in a way for it to be successful. Like, I just don't think it'll be successful because right now there's no way I see Damian Priest beating Drew McIntyre unless Seth Rollins wins and he beats Drew McIntyre. And he beats Seth Rollins
He
right
beats
after.
Seth.
And he beats Seth.
Be kind of dope to have somebody do what Seth did to Roman and Brock. You know,
At
a little turnaround.
WrestleMania,
Yeah, at Mania, that's a big one.
that's a big one. That is a big one. It screws us all over. Drew
Yeah.
would, yo, Drew's gonna lose his shit if he does
Nah,
not
he's gonna
win.
swing. He's gonna swing homie by his ankles. Like,
Yo, dog, if Drew were to lose and then he also had the Money in the Bank cash and happen after his loss, like there's gonna be a new level of Drew McIntyre unlocked. The 6 team ladder match at WrestleMania 40 is the culmination of creative realizing that giving us the awesome truth victory in a straight up tag team title match would piss off the internet wrestling community because of how many other credible tag teams are available. If Awesome Truth aren't in this match at WrestleMania, it's blasphemy. I hope they actually get a shot to. I hope they win their qualifying match, essentially. And yes, Truth not knowing today was Monday was a front runner in front of the Raw sign was fucking hysterical.
that was one of my favorite moments of Raw. Yo, bro, I sat through Raw. And I mean, I DVR'd, but I sat through it. I was like, I'm
Yo, man,
determined to know what's going on Monday.
at least you could say you knew what was happening. You know what I mean? And
Struggle Street.
Awesome Truth's gonna get over. This tag team division, I hope they split the titles. I don't know how they'll pivot, but please split the fucking titles, yo.
It's so like well overdue, and the fact that they're still carrying two sets of titles out just pisses me off. Like maybe after Mania we get like a redesign for one, you know, and we do split them. Like I don't know. I don't understand how they're allowed to carry two sets of titles around when we've already established that there are two rosters and we have two world champs and blah blah blah. Why is this the one title that doesn't get split? Why
Yo,
don't we have a
fam,
solution for that?
we don't even see those belts on SmackDown.
Hello.
And I watch SmackDown. I'm pretty sure I don't see Judgment Day or tag titles there, but I see plenty tag teams fighting for an opportunity. Who knows, man? Belts aren't getting split, but I do see new champions at WrestleMania. We spoke about Andrade being nowhere near the Latin American division. Is being best for business. Him mixing up with Judgment Day was really interesting. I think he should have a prominent role in something this year. Um, just something dope, man. Like, just don't come back to just shrug your shoulders, man. You know what I mean?
Yo, we know that he can go. We know that he has a presence. He can talk. Let's just figure something out for him. He had a great showing in the Continental Classic before he left. You know, I just don't. The comeback. I just hope doesn't kind of fall flat.
Agreed.
Is really all
Agreed.
I have hope for. I don't know what he does. That's why I said I think him and the Judgment Day is interesting, just because it seems random and it probably is, but at least there's some fresh matchups there, and it's just about what direction they decide to go in. You know what I mean? But we'll see. This is one of those time we'll tell. Like I can't, ain't no crystal ball over here. Time's
No,
not to
not
tell.
at all. Not at all. Becky Lynch feels like the heel against Rhea no matter how we slice it. It's a weird trajectory heading into WrestleMania 40. Why do we want Becky to win? I'm just because she won the Rumble, I guess. Cool. All right. The end. That was their confrontation.
Yeah. Like I don't know really what the dynamic is as far as like who's even like character wise. Rhea, I guess, is supposed to be the heel here,
She's
but
so popular.
she's
She's the
really
most
really popular.
popular female
Yeah.
in wrestling at the moment, to be honest.
I also got to take into account like that Mania crowd is gonna go up for both of them, so that's probably gonna be one of the more 50-50 split crowds once we get to Mania.
I just see Rhea having a dominant reign. I see her steamrolling through Becky after a grueling match and continuing on and
Yeah.
having a Roman Reigns, Gunther-esque reign as Raw
Yeah.
World
If I'm
Heavyweight.
putting money down, Rhea's the one champion and I think has a guarantee retain.
There's no reason for us to want Becky to win other than like, oh, she won the Rumble, yay, Becky Lynch back on top, and then watch the internet do what the internet does and go, oh God, more Becky Lynch title matches.
I think Rhea
Fuck.
has a better chance of retaining than Roman does.
Fair, 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 fair,
Better
fair.
odds.
Okay. Right to the point with Jey Uso and his promo. Finally, the match is announced. We can all get our yeet on. This match is going to be so WWE slow, but the promo packages leading up to it are going to be immaculate. Amazing what happens when you get to the fucking point.
Pretty
Same.
much. Pretty much. Like there's a lot of people that can talk and it sounds really, really good. And then there's some people that just overdo it because they think they have to talk. And they're told to go out there and fill time and it doesn't feel natural. Jay Uso got to the point right here. This is like whoever's decision it was to have him just come out and get to the point is really, really smart. This is understanding the strengths and the weaknesses of who you have talking. And I think Jay Uso can carry a long promo, by the way. Right now, he's got the crowd doing the yeet chants in between sentences, so he can just play off of that energy. But like Jay Uso just coming out, getting to the point. I ain't here to be cute. I'm here to
I
challenge my
like that.
brother. WrestleMania. Yeah, sometimes this shit is way more about energy than it really is the content of what somebody is saying. Just
I
get to the
like that.
fucking point. I want to challenge you to a match, my boy. Let's get it.
I like that. And I appreciated that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not excited for the physicality of the match. This is going to be the most WWE style of match, watching the both of them face each other with such limited body slam, super kick, flying body splashes. super kick, dive over the rope, fucking maneuvers. Hopefully, it's a gimmick match. Their
I
tag
don't.
team matches are not they're not exciting. So them one on one, I'm already like, oh fuck, this match is gonna be long and boring.
It's a mirror
That's
match
why I
because
need
it's not even a clash of styles here. Like they have the same
no.
exact style, the same exact move set. Um, it's one. Yeah. Well, this is going to work because I think the crowd's going to be up for it. So it's the best thing that WWE matches have for them is if the crowd is really into it, they're going to make some noise for the match, and that's going to catapult them over the shrug
That's
your
what I said.
shoulders effect. You know what I'm
The
saying?
promos and the video packages and the crowd, like all that's gonna make this match awesome. But when we get 22-17 in and we're just like, yo, dog, they done super kicked each other 5 times in the last
And
10
for
minutes.
me, it's not the super kicks, right? It's really not. The people are gonna complain about that being spammed. That shit doesn't bother me. It's the slowing down and having to talk and have dialogue and the melodrama that's inevitably gonna happen. You're supposed to be my brother. He's got to hold at him and look at him and shake him, and I'm not here for any of that shit. That's
I
very
think that's
Gargano.
gonna be
That's
the
very
better
Adam
part.
Cole.
I think
I
that's
don't like
better.
any of that shit. I really don't.
I think that's gonna be the better part of this match than watching them just cross body drop and super kick each other the whole night.
Nah, all of that takes me so far out of the match because I don't care about any of that shit. Like,
Yeah,
yo, you want time to talk? Do that shit before the match. Do that shit
yeah.
after the match.
I
I
want them
want
to
y'all to get to the
bloodline this
shits.
match up. Bloodline
Nah,
this shit up, yo.
I don't
Drag
want
it
any
out.
of
If
that.
it's gonna be 25 minutes, make this shit cinematic and worthwhile. I don't want to see the slow plotting headlocks, elbow drop, body splash,
But yo, I
super
think
kick,
we
super
get
kick,
all of
super
that
kick.
anyway. We get all of that
I
anyway.
do.
So I
I
just
get
want to
you.
expedite to that. Whatever action you're gonna give me, just get to that and get it over with.
I don't see
I
this being
don't
a short
need all the
match though.
rest of that shit.
This ain't even a short match. That's why they're gonna drag it out and talk in the ring. I think this is at least 20 something minutes.
That's one part of the COVID and the performance center that I wish stayed during the COVID lockdown era was all that conversation during matches. Shut the
Yeah,
fuck up and
yeah,
wrestle, bro.
yeah. Seth is playing into this not word gimmick so much that I just hope it ends his reign in his match against Drew McIntyre. He just huffed and puffed and ran to the back. And that was the end. Drew cried into his hands because Seth hurt his feelings, and that was a choice.
Like I didn't understand it.
Me neither. I was just like,
Why are we
what's going on
seeing
here?
Seth Rollins get under Drew McIntyre's skin at this point in the game? Like I get that you're supposed to be the architect, so let me see you try to architect your way to getting under my skin and let me defend that in a cool way. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't think like Drew McIntyre isn't a diabolical heel right now. He's very
No.
relatable, especially from the point of view of talking about why he wants to win so bad to justify all of the moments in his family's life that he missed out on. That still doesn't make him or shouldn't make him a sympathetic babyface character, in my opinion. So we don't need to see him run off and cry into his hands. We just need him to shrug off what Seth is trying to throw at him. Like this makes Seth more of a heel. That segment, the way it ended, you would think Seth, you're supposed to boo Seth.
You would think that, right? You
Didn't
would
make any
think
sense
that.
to me.
Instead, Drew just huffed, puffed, got on the apron, and jumped back down and left. And on to next week when they have another stare down promo. And maybe he'll get under Seth's skin then. Maybe he'll finally crack the chink in Seth's armor.
This is the rest stop to WrestleMania.
Speaking of rest stops and shrug your shoulders promos, Cody Rhodes' emotional promo to give the fans something more to sink their teeth into for WrestleMania weekend. For the singles match that's advertised, that he's actually main eventing in, and not the tag team match that's had so much emphasis the last month. Cody's promos are definitely on repeat. He cried, he shed tears. He said he's going to hand the title to his mom, and Michael Cole finished the story on commentary. And I didn't want to like fucking browbeat and just like be like, oh god, this fucking cry. I was just like, so I just said, hey, this was a run of the mill good Cody Rhodes babyface promo to put the one-on-one match back on track as opposed to so much emphasis on the tag team. So I just give it thumbs up.
I give it a shoulder shrug. This is nothing more than a byproduct of there being a 3 hour program that we have to make sure we fill with something. Because there was no new information. There was nothing
No,
exciting about it. He
no.
said everything that he said on Monday 1,000 times before. Like I would have
Then he
rather him.
cried. He
I
hasn't
would
cried
have
though.
rather him. Oh yeah, well we've never seen Cody cry. I would have rather him take the night fucking off, dog. Like,
Oh,
and the thing
shit.
about it is like coming off of such a hot angle on SmackDown. Why doesn't Michael Cole ask him about specifically how he felt when The Rock said that he was a mistake? They breezed over that part.
They did.
They didn't mention or bring
They
that up at
scared over
all.
that shit.
That was the hottest part or the most replayed or clipped part from that segment.
Oh,
The
be scared over.
information that came out as far as booking the tag match was the one big bullet point, and then the other big bullet point before the slap was what caused Cody to snap and then slap him.
Mm-hmm.
And they breezed over that. So if you're not going to talk about that part, what are you here to talk about? Why do we need, we just need this segment because we got 3 hours to fill.
Yes, that's exactly it. You are on the money. They're just like, hey, man, we got time. So fuck it. We riding. You know what I mean? Cody, get your shit off, bro. Cry. Cry a little bit longer. You want to blow
Yeah.
your nose on camera too?
Give me something else. Like even do something fresher with him. Like bring him out and put him on the commentary table and just have him do a couple segments in a match with some during something that Seth is doing, like something different. Don't just have him come out and say the same shit that he said.
Cody Rhodes on commentary.
Something, bro.
Advertised on Monday Night Raw. Wow.
Something.
Let's see. At this rate, I don't want Gunther to even lose at WrestleMania. To which you replied, Gunther is the man.
Gunther's the man.
Yeah.
Like Gunther is like the man.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd love for him to, retain and eventually win the world title and hold both of them for a bit. You know what I mean? I don't
Fair.
know.
I can fuck with that.
Yeah, I maybe this is Sammy taking that title off of him so Gunther can move on. Who knows?
He just looks so comfortable in his position right now that it's like, yo, it's tough to like want to take the
Dominant.
title off this guy.
He just feels like a champion. When he had the UK championship for
When
a
he
while,
cuts the promos, he just looks so comfortable that it's just like, why would you want this guy to lose? This guy looks like $1 million.
There's a regal presence that he brings forward.
It's like, hey, you're a great competition, but you're no match for me.
Yeah, you're no match for me. That's final boss talk. That is final boss talk.
I respect my opponent. Like he's a hell of a competitor, but he's just not me. It's like, yo, this guy's great. This guy is awesome. Hour-long gauntlet matches make me feel like I'm watching WWE in 2019 again. It's fucking awesome.
I looked at this lineup and I predicted this correctly, except for the person that won. Like
you like
there
the
were only
promo
two
videos.
credible. There were only two credible people that were gonna possibly win this match.
Yes.
They've been telling this Gable story and him making his way back to the scene.
That's a fact.
And Sammy is Sammy. Did we ever think that Ricochet was winning this match?
Ricochet is all elite after his contract's over.
I don't even want to see that.
I think Ricochet goes all elite, yo. He deserves a little bit more. So I think he goes all elite.
A hiring freeze. We have the big names.
We'll get to that. Oh, we'll get to that one. Don't worry. We'll get to that one. But I just think Ricochet is the next wave of all elite when its time comes, yo. Regardless of his beautiful wife being as an announcer there, she's there. I just think Ricochet goes all elite, man. I just think he's, you know what I mean?
I don't. I think he's dolphing it. He's going to stay there and be a lifer. Ricochet is a WWE lifer, bro. Trust me.
That's wild because I said Shinsuke will retire a WWE lifer who gets over always putting other people over.
But that's way different though. Like Shinsuke is here because the schedule is a lot easier and he can make a lot more money doing a lot less than he was doing in New Japan. Just keep it a stack. Ricochet, you know what I mean? Just keep it a stack. The money is amazing. Ricochet, I don't think has hit the same artistic heights as far as winning championships and being a top guy for any promotion or even one of the top guys. He's hit the heights as far as highlights. He and at one time on the Indies, he was one of the hottest guys, if not the hottest.
Yes, him and Will Ospreay. You think Tony Khan won't throw money to reunite Will Ospreay Ricochet again? Come on, man.
It's for the match, sure, but I don't think that Ricochet would want to leave. I think he's so locked in.
He is.
Yeah, he's so locked in that it's at some point it becomes past like, what can I do artistically and creatively, and it's how can I dolph this?
Man, maybe I'm just more of a Ricochet guy where I just want to see him do more. And I actually
Ricochet
want to see
Ziggler.
him go all elite. Of all the people I want to see go all elite, it's like I actually wouldn't mind seeing Ricochet be all elite, yo.
I mean, it'd be cool, but like, what happens there?
Yo, he's gonna have great matches. 5 stars, 4 stars. He'll be on TV more. He'll be on Rampage. He'll be on Collision. He'll have matches with Kip Sabian. He'll have matches with
So I'm
Butcher and
saying, like,
Blade.
you don't want to see that.
I mean, I'm just kind of fucking around a little bit in regards to that one, but I think he'll be at least more prominently featured in AEW. I mean, they give Commander a fucking Showtime every week, bro. I think Ricochet is 10 times better than Commander. I think he'll smoke Commander's boot. So I think Ricochet in some of these positions, I think would be cooler in AEW. I think Ricochet would shine a little bit more in the AEW banner, even Ring of Honor, even TNA.
Ring of Honor would be interesting. You know, TNA would be pretty interesting. I
He's
just think like he
tailor made for
suffers
it.
for me. Like I don't see him being in the booking. Whatever he's doing in WWE is exactly what he would be doing in AEW. It's a complete lateral move.
I don't know, yo. I got to disagree there. I think we'd see way more Ricochet in All Elite than we would see him in WWE. We just happen to see him on Monday nights, but I just think in AEW we'd see him spread out across 3 television shows. Whether he wins or loses, he'll be having moments in matches in time. So it's just me. You know what I mean? Bronson Reed will eventually get a win over someone that matters in 2024 on
Dog,
television or pay-per-view.
Bronson Reed's booking pisses me off, man. I
He'll get
said
a
when
win. He's going to get a win. He's due for one.
cool, he has one of the best finishers ever,
It's a
and
body splash.
somehow can't put some big victories together in a row, and I don't understand why.
Jey Uso does a body splash. Everybody does a
Jay
body.
Uso is not 400 pounds, bro.
I'll give you that.
Like when you talk about shit that looks like it hurts, Gunther chops look like they hurt, right? Bronson
Okay.
Reed jumping off of the top rope onto you looks like it hurts.
Fair. Fair assessment.
And to me, he should have won it. I forget what the pay-per-view was, but I was like I was advocating for Bronson Reed to win that championship, and they didn't do it. And there is
He
no
was supposed
momentum
to have a
behind him.
world title match at Perth, but Seth got injured. He was supposed to be the Seth's opponent, Seth's foil at Perth in
I think
Australia.
he was having a kid too, so that might have ended
too.
up falling through anyway. But
He's advocating for Meat Madness at WrestleMania. How do you feel about that? That's you and Ron's division.
no, it's not. I don't want anything to do with that shit.
Meaty man slapping meat, yo. That's what he wants. He's advocating for. He said him, Ivar, Omos, Otis, like have all of them just mix it up at WrestleMania. It's 2 nights, y'all. What y'all want to do? Come on.
Sure, it'll be entertaining for the night, and then Monday Night Raw happens, and he'll be in a backstage segment standing next to the TV like this.
Yo, man, Bronson Reed definitely deserved better. Yo, I ain't going front. But Sami Zayn gets his win and gets to finally finish his story as he heads off to WrestleMania to challenge Gunther. Meanwhile, Gable gets to be on the pre-show. I smell a triple threat coming, whether anyone wants to take my side or not. I
How
smell
does
it. Gunther,
how does Gable make it into that match though?
yeah,
He
tune into
lost
Raw
clean.
this week. Tune into Raw this week when we watch Sami Zayn defend his gauntlet victory against Chad Gable in the main event of WWE Raw, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, how does that sound? That sounds about reasonable, right? Sounds about like time filler, right? Like you can see that because why would you have Sami Zayn versus Chad Gable for a few minutes, the main event Raw, when you can just run it back the next week, right? You think Cody's wrestling? You think Seth's wrestling? You think Damien's doing a main event slot? Like, you think Gunther's wrestling? Like, you think Ricochet's wrestling? Sami Zayn Gable. Mark my words. I'd be surprised if they don't announce that match.
Sounds like I'm watching New Japan Cup highlights come Monday Night Raw.
I think Gable gets his in off of that rubber match, off of that, rematch against Sammy on Monday, yo. To pretty much piss us all off and to have us go, so what was the point of that gauntlet match?
Yeah, exactly. What was the point? What's the motivation behind Sammy offering a shot to Gable? Why is Gable still in the conversation after losing, after losing, after losing, after
Because
losing?
Gable will tell us that this is for his kids, it's for his daughter, and he needs this shot against Gunther badly. I can totally see all of this as I'm saying this, yo. And I know y'all watching that on the screens, y'all watching at home. Some of y'all gotta agree with me. y'all can easily see Gable crying his way into a match against Sami Zayn on Raw to not only main event, but to also get a shot at the Intercontinental title. I totally see it.
I mean, I
That's
can
like the
see
only
it.
thing I see for Raw, yo. Like, I don't even see what Cody's doing on Raw. Another promo? Like,
Yep.
I don't see anything for Raw other than Sammy Gable. Yeah, it sounds about like right up the alley.
Listen, what's the how many episodes of Raw do we have left before Mania? Like,
Like 4, bro.
right? I think he cries at 2 of them.
You think Gable or Cody cries?
Cody cries at least 2 of them.
Cody got to
If we
cry
have four,
again?
if we have 4 of them left, he cries at 2.
Yo, how he crying again, son? What is he crying about again? Now
He
he
has
just
to finish the story.
Oh, he's Cody Crybaby. So now he's got to cry. I'm picking up the 9.
He
I see
has
the
to finish
science,
the
God.
story, bro.
I see the
He's
science, God.
no,
Cody Crybaby crying.
he's gonna look up to the sky. It's gonna be, I don't know if it's backstage. I don't know if it's in the ring. He's gonna cry.
Nah,
He's
yo.
gonna be on SmackDown too. There's double the chances that he cries. Yo, between now and Mania, between Raw and SmackDown, he cries twice.
God, the Cody Crybabies. I'm peeping the knowledge now. I get it. It all makes sense. It really went over my head. But now that it's Cody Crybabies and Cody's crying, it's like,
What else is he gonna do?
I'm right here.
What else is he gonna do? Like,
That's Raw. That was Raw for y'all. You know what I'm saying? We ran down Raw pretty well. I ain't even gonna kill y'all with NXT. You know what I mean? I know AO probably is like, nigga, I don't know what the fuck's going on in NXT.
I saw Trick in Lash Legend.
I'll cover a quick little. I'll do a quick little brief points. Trick and Lash, I think they are going to be a dope pair. Very random how they found each other. It's a major swerve. I didn't see that coming. They look like dominance with their height and moves, and them being an on-screen couple as champions at NXT. I think it's pretty beautiful storytelling down the line.
Yo, I tuned in because I saw on the timeline that
Tony
Trick
D'Angelo
was.
about to toss fucking Ilya Dragunov over a bridge. Oh,
Nah,
all right.
I don't know. I saw Trick was returning, and we're gonna hear from Trick Williams, and he had one of the best promos of the week. Period.
Great emotion. Got to the point, but I feel like him and Swerve are very parallel in their promos. Less is more with Trick.
But I think I wouldn't say that for this because, like, for one, the delivery was 1,000 times smoother. I can see the wheels turning in Swerve's head when he's trying to figure out what he's supposed to say next. Versus this one, I think and it wasn't him repeating himself. It was him explaining the relationship between him and Mello, and then it was him explaining why he was so hurt, and then it was him explaining what I'm gonna do about it now. I thought it was fine, and
That
the
was
audience was
good.
there with him the entire time.
Because Trick is super over, just like Swerve. But I could see because I've watched Trick's rise. I've seen the uncomfortability in his promo, and he's getting better. So I'll give him that.
Yeah.
He's getting better.
On fresh eyes, I didn't get him fishing for what he was supposed to say next. It seemed like it flowed really, really natural.
Sometimes his enunciation or the way he gets his words out feel a little too jumbled, like mush mouthish, a little bit. That's just me though. Carmelo and Trick are going to continue to be a good trilogy of matches. I think it's going to be really good television. And that also leads me to Ilya Dragunov in the NXT World Title picture. I think Tony D'Angelo beats Ilya Dragunov. Maybe not this first chance, but the next go around, I think he takes it from him. He's been there long enough. There's no main eventers in NXT right now that can take the title of Ilya. And Tony D and the family are pretty damn fucking strong, if I do say so. Former tag champions. Noam Dar is really good. I'm gonna just keep saying that over and over. He's really fucking good, yo. Like more Noam Dar. Like this guy is really good. Dijak's going back after their North American title. His contract's coming up in June, so I think he either is going to be staying or I think he's going to be making his appearance in TNA at Bound for Glory. A low blow in a women's match. How do you feel about that?
Hurts.
Well, that's what Gigi Dolan did to Ariana
No, I
Grande.
saw it. I saw the clip. Like, you can hit anybody anywhere. It's just gonna hurt.
Gave her a low blow. That was interesting. Heel Roxanne Perez is unlocked. It's going to be dope. She's finally got a chance to shine as a heel character. I think her and Cora are going to be a great tag team when Cora returns. LWO, they finally win. Holy shit. They've got a tag team match with the Wolf Dogs coming up, followed by the Good Brothers, who I think will eventually dethrone the Wolf Dogs, much to AO's chagrin. 3 weeks in, I think I'm over the chairman. I think I'm pretty much. They've pretty much given us a reason to be like, oh, this feud's over by having Rich Holland be beat already by Shawn Spears. Pretty much
Oh
clean.
man,
It was pretty clean, actually. So it was like, this was odd as fuck. Whatever. So I think they'll have a rubber match or 2 or 3 for the next couple of months. If Lexus King is going to do anything, he's going to get his coronation finisher over. And I don't know why people were surprised that Robert Stone could wrestle. He's a former TNA Tag Team Champion.
I'm not hip.
Well, NXT, I'm sure Ron was definitely tapped in. He was on the tweets. But for our NXT viewers, cover NXT for y'all in a quick nutshell. Pause. Now let's get to Dynamite. Let's wrap it up with that. Big business.
Real quick before we even get into that, super quick, the World TV Championship tournament on Ring of Honor that I have on in the background right now. We have the Final Four. On the left side, we got Starks. She'll take on Mercedes Martinez. And on the other side, Red Velvet against Queen Aminata. And it looks like the finals will probably be at Super Carter Honor WrestleMania weekend. But the Final Four, Billy Starks, Red Velvet, Queen Aminata, and Mercedes Martinez.
You know who I think is winning that one? It's Billy.
Yeah. Starks and Aminata probably in the finals. And Billy Starks was, she was the one that's been earmarked to win this tournament when they announced it, since they announced it. She's coming off a hell of a world title match or attempt against Athena. You know what I mean?
I feel like her and Athena are genuinely carrying that division, so them having both the gold is just fine with me.
I mean, yes and no. Like Athena's been carrying it since she's been there, and Starks has been, her number 2. But this is the best part of Ring of Honor. Period. It's the women's division. The tournament by itself is just like there's a lot of talent down there that I've seen Aminata develop because I've been watching Ring of Honor. So there's more than just those two is all I'm saying. It's like there's a good chunk of talent down there.
Well, not to say that it's a bad thing, but I just mean there's such a focal point that it's like, why would you not put all the belts on?
It's built around kind of Athena is the tentacle. Like she is the octopus rather, and all of these matches and these storylines are her tentacle. But yeah. Got her and Hikaru Shida 1-on-1. That's for the title against at Super Carter Honor too.
Speaking of Dynamite and Ring of Honor, or Big Boss and Ring of Honor, and Big Business and Ring of Honor, and
Big Business.
What the fuck, yo? So is Eddie Kingston going to be Ring of Honor champion going into this pay-per-view? I'm going to assume so, right?
Yeah, I mean, the way that I'm understanding what happens with these titles is, for one, the Continental Crown and the Continental Championship are 2 different things, maybe, or the Triple Crown is, I don't know. It feels to me like the Triple Crown became a thing because Eddie Kingston is Eddie Kingston and he wanted to do
title.
It. Yeah. But yeah, no, he's speaking of Eddie Kingston. They're looking at Eddie Kingston versus Mark Briscoe at Super Carter Honor for the Ring of Honor joint.
Yo, at least give Ring of. You know what? I'm cool with Mark Briscoe being Ring of Honor champion because at least he's featured enough on television where it's like, at least this guy is like a champion and not just the job guy.
Yeah, like I think it's a dope look for Mark, and I think like Eddie Kingston, like he's had the Triple Crown, they're gonna start breaking him up now. He's gonna lose. We'll talk about the Okada or whatever, and it seems like Mark Briscoe, pardon me, is gonna beat him at Supercard. So
why would you not put all the belts on Okada and only the Triple Crown? Our new Japan special analyst. Hey yo.
I don't know. Why would I know? I thought that him winning the Triple Crown would have been really cool to see him come out with 3 titles. The Young Bucks might hold the titles for him, or they might hire people, to hold the title for him, just in some super heel shit. But I can't answer that question.
The pushback for that is because Okada is Okada. That's why he can't be a strong champion of New Japan, because he's higher than that, and he's higher than Ring of Honor, and he's new to AEW. So that's why he won't be.
Yes and no, because again, like prior to them specifically booking the match, prior really to last week with Eddie Kingston coming out with only the Continental title, we hadn't seen the 3 titles broken up and separated since he won the 3. You know what I'm saying? So yes, the strong title is way below anything that Okada has had because he's really only been featured as the top guy and the ace of New Japan. But when you add the fact that he's representing 3 promotions, that is the prestige. Other than that, it's another belt. Any of the belts are just other belts, right?
Them
Ring of
splitting
Honor
this
is the
up.
most prestigious belt, by the way. It's not the Continental Championship and it's not the Strong Championship. It's really the Ring of Honor because it has the longest lineage. So I would think you would want Okada to hold that shit, except he's not going to go wrestle on Honor Club.
I got a nasty prediction for you. The international title and the continental title will be merged this year.
They should have been the whole time. Continental Crown is a dope title that would have been great if it was to determine the number 1 contender for a championship. Same way they do in the G1 and the New Japan Cup. It's a tournament to determine who the next contender is going to be for the next pay-per-view cycle. Like right now, the New Japan Cup winner is facing Naito at Sakura Genesis coming up this spring.
Okay.
So that's really what the Continental Crown should have been instead of a brand new championship. Do the tournament exactly the same way you did it, but just have the winner of that, so.
Yeah.
You know what I hope, by the way? They're never going to do it, but seeing how the rankings are dead, it'd be
Insane,
great.
bruh.
It'd be great.
Insane.
The way to save the rankings is to make the rankings only there for one division. Continental, International, something like that. Because they've completely given up. You got too many people bitching about it on social media, which is probably why Tony killed it after 2 weeks. Like, just make the standings for one division.
I don't see not one mention of these fucking rankings, yo. Unbelievable.
No, I've seen them, and it's all been people that's like, oh, I guess we're done with these. It's been like, what the fuck are you? When are you dropping the rankings? February 10th was the last rank. They had 2 weeks of it, and it's dead.
Damn. All right. Well, I guess we'll get back to the rest of big business. You know what I'm saying? We won't go too much on the Okada, Eddie Kingston until we get to it. Mercedes is all elite. It's what we were all here for. It's the big show. Here we said it, guys. Mercedes is all elite. Yay. She's here. She's here. That's it. I'm happy. The wait's over. There's the we're gonna tell you, but we're not gonna tell you surprise. Like I'm happy that this cloud of will they, won't they sign is done. Ospreay, Okada, and Monet are all here, and now we can lock and load and get this shit on the road.
Yeah, 100%. Like I think the way that Will Ospreay's been presented and the way that he's presented himself, fire. The way
he's the
that
biggest
Okada's
babyface in this company, and he's with the fucking
100%.
most coldest heel group with the hottest heel manager.
Okada and Ospreay so far have been flawless since they've gotten there.
Yes.
And I see no reason why, I can't even say, look, Mercedes, first look, first night, the promo was dope. And then coming out at the end was dope. The main event being women, Willow and Riho was specifically there because we needed to end the night again with Mercedes Moné. So the real impact now is just to see what the couple of she alluded to me with the hand point CEO is similar to DMD, so that might be planting a little seed right there.
She got the Walter former theme song, so that's cool. You know what I'm saying?
That's cool. The people went up for it as far as chanting CEO. Like, say what you say about this. I heard the song today, on the streaming. It's not the best, but it does what it needs to do.
Yes, that's
as far as having a song for people to react to and chant and sing along with. We've seen what that's done for Jericho. Hell, we saw what that did for Bobby Roode. You know what I mean? You have a great song. Look at how Seth Rollins is so over, partially
that's
because
true.
You know what I mean? So the song does what it needs to do. We've seen Serena Deeb talk some shit. Thunder Rosa's waiting in the background. There's still tension between her and Willow, even though that ended seemingly on friendly terms. There was the side eye and the energy, you know what I mean? So there's a bunch of directions. Now we just see what happens. But I, like you, also agree that I'm very glad that we now the free agent and when will they sign and all that. We're done with that. Now it's just get busy time. And so far, Okada's been getting busy, and so far, Ospreay's been getting busy. Now it's time for Mercedes to get busy.
I agree. I don't see Mercedes ending up on the Taya Deonna Purrazzo wave and just, go into Collision and Rampage and just
Hey, not for
have.
nothing. Like they're still running the Perazo and Tony Storm. I figured after the end of that match
Oh,
because it wasn't
oh my
whack
God.
or not whack, that's what they're doing, right? So
Jesus
I
Christ.
figured that
Oh,
because they didn't have a clean victory at the pay per view, that they were going to run it back, and they're running it back.
yo. Deanna Perrazzo. She's here. That's all we can say. She's here. Tony Storm. She's there. And I'm just glad that they're not putting Mercedes right into the main title picture right now.
That's what I hope they wouldn't do.
I thought we were going to go Mercedes Elite, but they just, didn't do the whole fucking heel turn in Boston. So I'm fine. I'll live with that. Let's see. AEW 2024 already feels leaps and bounds better than AEW 2023 and maybe 2022.
I mean, memory not being the best, I can't recall 22, but 23, because like the vibe of the company has so much to do with who the world
Yes.
champion is. And the vibe of MJF just was not really it last year, specifically after he turned face. It was too much silliness. It was too much of the same type of promo. It was too much of the back and forth buddy bullshit with Adam Cole.
I
It
really
was,
miss this guy. Every time I feel like I want to miss him and Kenny Omega, I just realize like Okada and Ospreay and Mercedes are here. I think we'll be all right.
I'll tell you one thing though, like the energy of AEW notwithstanding how it's really, really dope right now, we will see exactly how consistent that energy is going to remain after MJF gets back, if we're fully back to the heyday of AEW. You know what I mean? Like that's gonna
I
have
agree.
a lot of weight. You know, when he comes back, is it back to the silly bullshit? Is he a face when he comes back? Is he a heel? Is he the same type of heel? You know what I mean? Like once he comes back, how do you fit MJF into the mix when so much of what a lot of people are talking about they like is the polar opposite of what he brought to the table?
You finally give him and Adam Cole's United Kingdom group something to do. Undisputed Kingdom.
But I mean, who wants to see that shit? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, they'll
Cody God.
probably do that, but who wants to see that shit?
It'll give him something to do. Story time with Adam Cole, baby. I thought that was so Ring of Honor of him, but that was like really good.
I thought that was dope. Exact, very Ring of Honor. Like there was he killed that shit when he was in Ring of Honor. You know what I mean? So I thought that was cool. It set the table for Wardlow to lose, and bro, Wardlow's a goon. He is a goon. He's a goon.
Yo, that boy fried, son. That
He's a
boy
goon,
cooked,
man.
man. He cooked, bro. He's cooked. We have now entered the rinse cycle and now the repeat section of Wardlow's time at AEW.
I really don't know what you could possibly do with Wardlow after he loses clean to
Choke
Samoa
out.
Joe, choked out. Like his whole story was Adam Cole is telling him, like, he's only part of that faction. He's not part of that friend group, right? So he's only part of that to win the title and hand it to Adam Cole. And now he's failed. So what we're probably going to see now is the falling out of him and the Undisputed Elite. Undisputed. What the fuck are their names, bro? Undisputed
Undisputed
Kingdom.
guys. The undisputed guys.
Yeah.
The elitists.
Other than that, like, what direction do you possibly go with him other than him just being a goon?
Over under. If the bar is at 10, over under, how many squash matches does Wardlow have until he gets back to the world title?
I'm going to say over because it's going to take a long ass time for him to get back to a world title. Unless the only other thing that I could think of is he gets back to the world title through some underhanded shenanigans because Adam Cole has put him up to it. And it's going to be him against Swerve because it's going to come after Swerve beats Joe. Like, I could see Wardlow still kind of hanging around in that division to take another L to Swerve. You know, on TV probably. It won't be a pay-per-view match.
I still see this being a three-way. I
Uh,
can see this being a three-way at Dynasty. I don't think Wardlow's done just yet. I just don't see it just yet. I think they're going to continue to give us more Wardlow and angry Wardlow, and I deserve another shot. And
But
This,
that's the
that,
thing.
and the
Like
third.
he has no leg to stand on right now. It wasn't like there was interference. He has no argument.
He had
He
a
got
commercial
choked out.
break. He had a
Huh?
commercial break. He had a commercial break during his match. That's a
He got
Wardlow match with a commercial break, y'all. And he
yeah
lost.
yeah. He got choked the fuck out. Right. I thought what I honestly thought it would have been is like some kind of a backfire, something the somebody else from the undisputed interferes or some kind of hiccup. He just lost clean, which is cool. Lose clean. It's just you've exhausted this already now. Like
Right.
you have to go to you have to he has if he's gonna be anything of any note in AEW, he has to go for another championship. And I don't know, like Roddy has the Continental, so it's not gonna be that. Not the Continental, the International.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not gonna be that. You're not gonna see Wardlow and Okada. First of all, they're both heels. Second of all, please. You know what I mean? So TNT title is the direction. Is Orange Cassidy and no, excuse me. Who has TNT right now? Roddy.
Christian. Christian.
And Christian. I can honestly see a Christian and Wardlow TV thing.
If
I
Wardlow
mean
goes face,
Adam Copeland,
win.
excuse me. Adam
Oh yeah,
Copeland.
If Cope wins, yeah,
I
I
can
can see.
see Adam Copeland and Wardlow for a little TV
I can
match.
see it. I can see
But it's
it.
another L. It's another L. Unless you want to give you want to rehabilitate him, you give him a win over Adam Copeland. Because Adam doesn't need to have a long reign.
No. But the TNT title again, it's like, yo, dog, Wardlow, you've been here, done this.
That's his ceiling,
Got
bro.
4 times. This guy's a 4-time TNT champion, I'm sure, at that point.
It's his ceiling, but that would be the biggest TNT win that he could possibly have because of who Copeland, who he
Fair.
is and who he represents. But yeah, man, he's fried, bro. Fried.
So no Cope. There's no Christian this week. Next week, they have their I Quit match in Toronto. What do you think is the case with that one? How do you think that goes?
I think Copeland wins.
I don't think he wins. I think another screwy finish. That takes
But
us to
it's an I quit match though. So somebody actually has to say it unless you run back the Mick Foley is pre-recorded shit.
It's Christian. He's way too smart, bro.
I don't know because three of these we don't need another. We don't need part four. You know what I'm saying? Like we really don't need it.
Tony Khan is gonna stick it to his storytelling. He's like, guys want storytelling? Here you go. You guys got a 4-part right now.
We don't.
Dynasty.
This doesn't need a four.
It's an ambulance match. It's a structure match at Dynasty. First blood. Ladder match.
We don't. Yeah. Four stipulations, dog. It's first blood in a cage ladder match.
I can
Tables,
see.
ladders.
Crazy enough,
chairs.
I feel like this should have been a ladder match. Like this is their calling. This is their ode to them. If this was a TLC match, I almost damn near think this would have been like way more like.
Yeah, but I think that's the predictable route to go, just because of that's what
Yes, give us the
messing
predictable
over.
shit. That's how you know it's over. It's a TLC match. It's over. It's over. This got to be the last
But
one.
I think
you don't come back.
They were trying to push this as like a blood feud, and somebody forcing your arch nemesis to say "I quit" is a perfect way to end the blood feud.
Where does Cope go from here if he loses?
Back to if he loses.
Yes.
That's harder to figure out than where does Christian go if Christian loses.
Where do you think
again,
Christian goes if he loses? Because I would love to see Christian be in the world title picture. That's just me.
But I
More than
think
Cope.
again, it's because he's a face, because Adam Copeland is a baby face and a legend at that. For him to actually visibly say "I quit," he's done.
We've seen this before.
Put him in the world title division. I don't know where he goes. He goes in the same bin as Wardlow. You know what I mean? Maybe they should be a tag.
Yo, Copelo is nasty. Copelo is a nasty tag team, if I've heard it. They're both going to come out in matching gears, and I'm just going to be like, what is happening at AEW in 2024? Where's Will Ospreay's match, yo? What time does he go on?
Yeah, that can't happen. I don't know if he says "I quit," pack him up, bro.
We've seen this before. Do you think Beth Phoenix comes in? Yeah, man. You think they just run it back? Come on, they copy each other, bro. Both companies are copying each other. You just think we just run it back? Take out Finn Balor and put Christian? Take out Judgment Day and put the patriarchy.
I could see them doing like a quick little mixed tag match at the pay-per-view at Dynasty. You know what I mean?
Wayne, Christian,
yeah,
Edge.
I could see that, to be honest. But I'm just ready for them to move on to do something else. I
I
don't know what
agree.
it
I
is,
agree.
but
I agree.
I get it. You guys hate each other. End
You
this
know
shit.
what I wouldn't mind seeing, yo? It would take it back to the era for me. Jay White and Cope, I think, would be mad reminiscent of
Sure.
Edge Triple H's feud. I think that would be
Yeah,
a
100%.
rehabilitation for both of those guys. They need each other in a feud.
Because I think Jay White wrestles the type of match that Edge like kind of specializes in. They
Yes.
don't do 100 miles an hour. Like Jay White is not a 100 mile an hour wrestler. So there's so much like the bell rings and Jay White immediately rolls out to go fuck with you and fuck with the fans. You know what I mean? Like so I
They
think
will have as close to a WWE style match in AEW as I feel like anyone, as opposed to like damn near Christian and Edge would have together. Like,
yeah, but I think the difference is like they'll be able to lay the intensity and the viciousness and the crispness of a lot of the moves lend itself really well to a slower match sometimes. You know what I mean? Like they also pull punches and pull hits and pull strikes in WWE, which is like that's with a slow style match and the
you're
shit.
right.
It's slow and soft. It's
Yo,
slow and soft.
I could see this team. I could see that pairing damn near having a 4 or 5 star match. On a Meltzer scale, I could see him being like, "Yo, that Jay White Adam Copeland was 4 stars." Like, I could see people being like, "Yo, that match actually was like really fucking good."
Yeah,
Like,
because they're gonna go heavy into drama, but not corny drama where I have to talk to you during the match and somebody has to cry and curl up or somebody got to stare at their hands. I can't believe I'm so violent. How did I get to this point? Like, nah. But they'll amp that drama up in a way where they're building, start slow, move at a steady pace through the match, couple of high spots here and there. Edge is like Copeland is a master at that shit. You know what I mean? Like again, like I'm not the biggest Copeland fan, but he's good at what he's good at.
and they also match each other. I feel like in size, physically. Pause.
Yeah.
I feel like they
Hey,
like
Cope.
Jay
Yeah.
White can take
Height.
a spear, and
Yeah.
Edge can take the Blade Runner, and it would look mad like it wouldn't look like he's picking up fucking the Big Show
Right.
or he's picking up Wardlow. Like he's
Yeah.
picking up a guy that
They're
looks
very
identical to him.
comparable. They're probably just about the same height. And Cope might have, he looks like he's a little bit bigger, so he has a slight weight advantage, but it's
Mm-hmm.
not crazy. Like they match up really, really well,
I
and they can
agree.
still play on that weight difference. Like a Copeland can probably throw him around a little bit, but it doesn't look like he's in there with a child.
When he takes the spear, Jay White, he will look believable. Like, oh shit, like he got cut in half by Edge. Like,
Sell that shit like death. He's one of the best sellers in the
yes.
business.
So let's get back on track with the rest of the show. It's a little bit in order. Sometimes I forget Okada can speak English, but he's great.
Yo,
He's fucking great, yo.
that shit was so funny.
That was great. The
That shit was
elitists.
so funny. And this is such a great genius move having him come in as a heel with the Bucks. Like it's paying dividends. We've had 3 shows where Okada's been featured. He came out, the debut, we saw that. The Rainmaker was a little clunky, but whatever, who gives a fuck?
Like he was giving him a fucking Heimlich. That was
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah, it was just weird. Like I don't know if he just didn't get the grip immediately, pause, or whatever the case was. Um, and then the match on Collision, where he's just in there beating up the the entire team, throw them into the tag your mans in him or fuck him up too, hit you with the Rainmaker. And then yesterday, the match they got busy, but before that, like him telling Alex Marvez, no, 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 sing Happy Birthday to Matt.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Fucking hilarious.
That was funny. Because I really forgot that like this guy can talk. Like,
Yeah.
and it sounds better than Shinsuke, which I feel like if he was in the E, they would have just had them in a tag team, and he would have been the talking point of the tag team, and
This
Shinsuke
is
would
what
have
I'm
been the
saying.
comedy.
This is what I'm saying. Like they went the unconventional route with debuting them. Like the first in AEW, the conventional and boring thing would have just been, oh, we have the Rainmaker, and he just comes out and is the
It would have
same
got
Rainmaker.
so cold. It would have got cold within a
Quick,
year.
quick, exactly.
It
So
would have felt very Ishii, very Suzuki-ish.
it wouldn't have even been that. It just would have because the difference is he would have won. Like
Yes.
Ishii comes in and he'll lose. You know, the difference is they would have just have him come in. He wouldn't have lost, but it would have just been about like him having good matches. And I think like this is able for people to dive into his personality a bit. Here's the difference, right? We had these 3 big signings, but the difference between Osprey and Okada versus Mercedes is the same core audience is kind of already aware of who Osprey is and who Okada is. But for the AEW people that are only watching AEW, you're able to get Osprey's personality by just giving him the microphone, and you're able to see something interesting about Okada aside from him just coming out and wrestling matches because he's a heel.
He looks like the Japanese Cody Rhodes.
How
He
so?
looks like money. He has the suits, the
Yeah,
look, the
yeah,
blonde hair, the
yeah.
smile, the facial reactions. Like he is the Japanese Cody Rhodes, and I feel like he's going to be. He is slotted in the Cody Rhodes role of the elitists. Like this is perfect. Like I think
Yeah.
this is brilliant. Anyone that is just knocking it, I don't want to hear you guys. And I know y'all come at me about my AEW like my hot takes about some shit that
Like,
goes
what
on.
could the
But like,
criticism
this is
possibly
great.
be?
The Bucks suck. The Bucks are just using him to get over. They're wasting Okada, putting him as a heel. Just preliminary shit that I'm just like, all right,
Yeah,
guys.
and that also that stuff like that just sounds like you probably just already don't like the Bucks, so whatever.
That too.
Like this ain't for you, kind of shit.
That too. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't like Penta and Nicholas's red gear, the over red gear. I thought that was a little bit fucking confusing.
It is kind, yeah, it is kind of weird to have like, uh, because it's like when you have opponents kind of wearing the same gear, it fucks the vibe a bit. Same color gear.
Penta and the Bucks will always bring out the fucking worst of each other sometimes. Very car
I like it.
crashy. I like it. I like it. Yeah, I like it. I can see why people don't like it. You know what I'm saying? I watched with somebody that was WWE-ish, and they were just like,
Yeah,
like this is
but
just over the
I
fucking place.
encourage people to understand there's so many different types of styles and ways you can have matches, and
I
people
get you.
don't know what the fuck selling actually is, but they use the word.
Let's see. We spoke about Okada, Kingston, the Heimlich Maneuver, Rainmaker, the Ring of Honor Championship, um,
He's
C2.
beating Eddie.
Yeah, I think he's beating Eddie.
He's beating Eddie.
I think he's beating Eddie. He's got to. You know what I'm saying? Eddie has got to defend that Ring of Honor title. I said Blake Christian, and you said Mark Briscoe, so completely different.
Holy shit. No, it is Mark Briscoe confirmed.
Yeah,
It's definitely not Blake Christian.
I said Blake Christian, so yeah, there we go. And then the strong, yeah, crazy, right? Eddie Kingston, Blake Christian to sell the pay per view.
That's outrageous. I got to look at the New Japan schedule. There's a couple of big shows they have. It might be like
What's the deal with this title, man? This is your side of the fence, yo. Is this shit gonna stay or go? Is this just AEW's way of getting in the door with the other companies, or can this shit get out of here?
what, the strong title?
Yeah.
No, I mean he's legitimately a champion for another promotion. Like it's just not a priority title uh for Tony to actually book.
That's what I mean by like this is just AEW's way of just having their foot in the door with other companies. Like, hey, we can, do something over here if we want to, we can
Yeah,
do
I
something
think
over
it's
here.
that, and I think it became a triple crown because Eddie Kingston really fucks with the All Japan Triple Crown from back in the day. But this was never anything that I think Tony was ever really going to book. He owns Ring of Honor and he owns AEW. He doesn't own New Japan, so this didn't really have anything to do with Tony other than these are the homies over here.
What do you say to Eric Bischoff saying that Eddie Kingston is a Jiffy Lube worker at best?
I don't give a shit about Eddie Kingston, Eric Bischoff's opinion.
All
Who
right.
gives a fuck?
All right. Just saying. Like I just listen to some of the peers, some of the OGs. You know what I'm saying? Say
Yeah,
about Eddie
I
Kingston, and I'm just like, some
because
people rock, and some people are just like, I just wish he would just look like a wrestler and not like a fucking Jiffy Lube employee.
yeah, I don't care about that because like the same type of people a lot of time when people say, "Oh, he looks like a wrestler," you're going after a specific look, and then that becomes cookie cutter, right?
Okay.
Again, like we are never presenting Eddie Kingston as the best wrestler ever. That's never been his thing. So you want to present him like a wrestler, but he's never presented himself as the best wrestler. He's a fighter, survivor, scrappy dude, and he's very believable in that role. Why do we
Right.
need to change anything?
Fair. That's fair. Okay.
Like everybody don't need to be in trunks and come out with And again, like when we talk about some of these opinions, I can listen to opinions. I just can't listen to people who clearly have a bias. You know what I mean? Like Eric Bischoff does not fuck with Tony Khan and does not fuck with AEW. So why
Quite the
do I care
contrary. He
about?
does. He does actually give good amount of praise. He does give good praise. I will say that.
But it's not unbiased though. Same thing with Cornette because even if it's not specifically a Tony Khan bias, it's like I don't like this style of wrestling. Cool, but it's not to say that that style of wrestling doesn't connect to people.
Somebody he is an advocate of, Will Ospreay, which is our next segment. Will Ospreay comes
Well,
out.
Osprey's undeniable, dog.
He comes out. Even he said it. Even Eric said it. He said he's just so leaps and bounds ahead of the rest of the roster. That's going to be scary of how they manage the rest of him for this year. Like he's going to outshine a lot of these guys, and it's going to be very apparent. Him dressing like a soccer goalie was a little bit fucking me up, but I'm just like, this is just what he's going to do. So I guess this is what he's
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
do. You know
No,
what I
I
mean?
fuck with it. I think
He's
like
selling the.
a lot of times like there is a bit of like presentation sometimes depending on what you're going for, and I think like Will Ospreay is really just coming off as like the most likable dude that also happens to be the best wrestler in the world. You know what I mean? Like I think that's kind of what they're going for. He's getting the charm over. So him coming out and just some shit that he probably got off the plane in kind of works a little bit. The thing, Ospreay is the best of
When he
Kenny
goes
Omega.
corporate, that's when he'll put the suits on and shit and goes
Yeah,
heel. Like that's when I can see
100%.
him
Yeah, 100%.
doing that whole shit.
The best of Kenny Omega is really like bell to bell in ring, right? But then you also have the fact that Osprey is one of the best promos right now, period, and has a personality. Like there is no flaw in Will Osprey's game right
Big
now.
baby face. Like we lost MJF and got Will Ospreay, and I'm really not upset at this at all. Like I'm not
But like
bothered about
MJF isn't even likable though. Like as a face, he's not likable. He's not a believable, likable guy. Like I don't believe that people really like him.
You heard what John Cena said?
Nah.
He said when he met him, he was just like, yo, my preconceived notion was this guy's just a dick. So like when I actually met him, like we shook hands and he was just really grateful and gracious and had a lot of great things to say. Like I actually like told my publicist, like, yo, give me like 2 minutes. And I doubled back and like shook his hand again, like, yo, I'm sorry for like the preconceived notion that I had of you. Like I didn't know you were this like personable and this genuinely kind of a person. I apologize. And I hope one day, you play for this side of the team. You know what I mean? That's pretty much how it ended. Like, you know what I mean? Like he's trying to campaign MJF to come to WWE, but he had a preconceived notion that MJF was a dick.
Because he's really that good at playing that role. You know what I mean? Like I don't know any of these people, right? So I don't know what they are like when the camera's off, but MJF is just so good at playing a heel and not that he's not believable as a likable character. Like I don't feel sympathy for him even with all those tears and all that shit right out of the Cody Rhodes handbook. I don't still don't feel bad for him, you know. I don't go away from a MJF, let me tell you about my childhood promo and be like, "Damn, I really hope he pulls through in this next match." Like fuck that. I've seen the worst of you. Why all of a sudden am I gonna, wish that you win the big one?
When he comes back, it's going to be a really big pop, though. It's going to be super over.
Yeah, but everybody gets a pop. It's what happens the show after that. Once it's not a surprise.
I wouldn't mind MJF back, man. I think it would be pretty fire.
Me
But I think
either. Just
he should take the year off. Like I think he should take like they're saying 6 months. You know what I'm saying? Sources have been saying like he should be back by the summer. But I think he should just chill out for like good. Just chill for the rest of the year. Let this current landscape do what it does before like
sort itself out. Yeah.
before the OG of AEW comes back and it's like, what the fuck? What the fuck is this? Who the fuck is this Japanese guy and this fucking British guy and this
Those are
fucking
the two big returns of him and Omega, right?
yes.
And again, like I think Omega fits into the landscape a bit easier than MJF because there's less to figure out with Kenny Omega.
Because he'll go right into the elite verse, and then that'll just be that.
Yeah, because there's built-in feuds. First of all, I got kicked out of the group. Fuck, you already knew it was going. Like, so there's storyline that's right there that fits very, very naturally, and they can do that. He'll have his run back with what you call it,
Okada.
With Okada. He'll have his run back with Ospreay as well. With MJF, it's tougher to figure out because there has to be an adjustment to how I'm now going to present myself within this current landscape. Because the style is so different that we weren't fucking with you when you were here, bro.
I don't think that's going to be a problem. We're just going to go right back to him in the Undisputed Kingdom. That's it. That's it.
After that, you know what I mean? Like once we kind of exhausted that a bit, and he wants to get back into, let's say, into a title picture, depending on who has that title, is like he has to figure out how he's in there with with that landscape. Like MJF standing across a ring, by the way, with Okada, just feels fucking weird.
OD.
You know what I
OD
mean? But
weird.
we have to get to the point where it's like, oh, this actually is kind of interesting. Him and Osprey is a great back and forth, but how do you switch up, your cadence and your promo style to fit what Osprey is bringing to the table?
Agreed.
So there's I think a bit more to figure out. Okay, Omega's never been a promo guy anyway, so
Well, I
plus
just think MJF's going to be stuck in the fucking United Kingdom verse anyway, so I'm just not really thinking much. Like your point is very valid. Like what's going to
yeah,
happen
I
after?
think that
Like
is what he does when he
I'm
first
not
comes
thinking
back.
beyond. Yeah, I'm not thinking beyond that because that's going to take at
Yeah,
least the net. Him returning, that's going to take at least the first like 4 or 5 months. He's got to beat the whole entire group. He's got to have a feud with Wardlow again. He's got to kill Roderick Strong at some point. He's going to demolish Matt Taven
yeah.
and Mike Bennett. You know what I'm saying? Randomly on Collision and Dynamite.
Hey, if
And
we're
then he's going to
talking
get Adam
about
Cole and
yeah,
have
if
a
we're
trilogy
talking
with
about
Adam Cole.
Wardlow though, like the Wardlow MJF, that honestly would be a perfect time and a shocker. That'd be an amazing time to have Wardlow get a
Go back
win,
with MJF.
or no, get a win off of like a returning MJF because nobody would see that shit coming.
That's funny.
MJF could absorb a loss because you're coming back, you're not in ring shape yet. But Wardlow could be like, yo, I'm getting my my comeuppance. It's just that it's not gonna happen. But it
Yo,
would
fam,
be
I'm so deep ingrained in Wardlow just breaking off, going back with MJF, and then them just recycling their story again, and then just having having Wardlow realize like this is my role, and then he's just gonna play this to face MJF type of shit. Like they're gonna be in the gray area, and then they're gonna feud again. I could see that happen.
yeah.
Kyle O'Reilly versus Brian Keith Saturday on Collision. Who you got?
O'Reilly's winning that, bro.
Oh, all right, bet. Just checking.
O'Reilly's winning that.
Just checking. All right, cool. You know what I'm saying? Salute to Brian Keith, yo. Dope talent. Glad he's here. He's got time to develop, et cetera, et cetera. It's what they all say. It's time for Darby's last match, possibly ever. And it's against the man who once main evented a pay per view in AEW for a world title, Jay White. Bang, bang. Jay White played the Triple H role very well, working over Darby's physical weaknesses. And which really made me think, why isn't this guy in a prime singles feud again? You know? If Darby wasn't trying to climb an impossible mountain, I would have ran this for a pay per view or saved it for Dynasty in general. Like this would be a multiple feud pay per view. But Jay White needed that win, and he needs credible wins against credible people. And Darby Allin is quite possibly he's just magic when it comes to credibility and just believability and just putting him in the right place, right time to get someone over. And I think it just worked. I think this was a sleeper match of the night for me. Jay White, ever since you said Triple H, I just can't see it, yo. You fucking got it, man. It's like every time the match starts, I'm like, here we go, here comes the game, and it
Jay
clicks,
Helmsley,
yo.
bro.
Yeah, Jay Helmsley just clicks, yo. You know what I'm saying? It just really made me go, why isn't this guy more featured? What the fuck, yo?
Look, I mean, I think they're reversing course. Like they wouldn't have had Darby say that shit on TV if they weren't reversing course a bit. And also with them turning on the acclaimed, that means we're wrapping this shit up finally, which everybody is happy about. But the best thing about this segment and about this match to me, which may have gone overlooked by a lot of people, I
Jay
think a lot
White
of people,
clean.
nah, not even that. Jay White specifically going after Darby's ankle. If you just look at it, you're gonna say, "Oh, this is how they're writing Darby Allin off TV." It's not, because it was already specifically said that Darby Allin's not going to be on TV because he's going to climb Mount Everest. This is Jay White establishing himself as a fucking dickhead,
Yeah.
right? This is Jay White attacking your ankle to take something that you truly love away from you, or at least make it that much harder. So
Yes.
say, let's play this out. Like he climbs Mount Everest and makes it down. It's like a 2 month journey, I think. It's some wild shit.
That's
Like
insane, dude.
it's insane. But he makes it down. When he finally comes back 2 months, 3 months later, he has revenge on his mind because it took him, with a busted fucking ankle, to make it up and down this thing. I was risking my life and you almost took this shit from me.
It's like the Dark Knight story. It's like when he was in the fucking in that little tunnel, in that chamber, in
Yeah,
that jail shit.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, like
Before he came back to fight Bane. Yeah, I could feel that.
Yeah, this shit is like that. That's a perfect type of feud where we're talking about establishing Jay White as a singles with a returning Darby Allin who just made it off of Mount
Yeah,
Everest.
that's gonna be nice. That's gonna be pay-per-view quality.
Yeah,
Darby gets his win back. Yeah, I could see
yeah,
that.
and then you have Jay White attack the ankle at the pay per view.
I'm here for that. I'm definitely here for that. I'm definitely not here for the fucking unification match that's about to be happening with the trios titles from both companies, further disintegrating Ring of Honor.
Yo, might be an unpopular opinion, but if there's any title I'd rather get rid of, it's trios. It was so unnecessary. Like everybody wanted it, and now that I've seen it play out, it just gets in the way of the tag division, and I'm good.
It wouldn't be bad if there just was separate divisions. Like, just keep the Ring of Honor guys away from the AEW guys. Like, let Ring of Honor have its own. Like, Ring of
Sure.
Honor has enough talent where they can thrive with the trios division.
No, I get that, but I just don't think that we need trios. Like trios are a cool match,
We
but
have enough
actual
factions in AEW. It's fine.
nah, I don't think so. I don't think so because like again, like we also have had conversations about what are they doing with the tag division and where's this person and that person and they're getting lost in that. A lot of those tag teams have become trios. Look like House of Black, for example. They have a built-in tag team right there, even if they were doing Freebird rules. But
Red
if you
cycle
put
repeat.
yeah, but if you put them in the tag division, it makes the tag division better.
It do. It do. I give you that.
But
I
yeah,
would
I
give
mean,
you
in general, like we need one set instead of two, and send that to Ring of Honor. You know what I mean? Give them something like give Ring of Honor like something unique. Like I would like to see if we're gonna keep the trios,
that. That's
have Ring of Honor
crazy.
have the pure and have the trio. So you have to go to Ring of Honor to see different styles of matches.
That's fire. But for them to create the AEW trios tag titles and then disintegrate them 2 years in is fucking insane. And I just don't think that happens. So I
No, I
think
don't
that's
think it's
the
gonna
trio
happen
title.
either. They're gonna
It,
break them up and go in different directions, but it's too much.
get Jay White back to singles and send all of this away, man. Jay White for president, yo. More Jay White, man, please. Chris Jericho. Wow. I think the crowd is really showing they want less Jericho, as have we all been feeling. And I just don't understand how he can keep attaching himself to the Jericho verse with all the people that he's feuding with. It's insane, bro. It's insane.
You know what's interesting, man? We've all seen Jericho over the years, be known for reinventing himself. And this is the first time that we've seen Chris Jericho
Revert.
go go back to an old gimmick for an extended period of time.
I think
Like
every
we've
week he
seen the
comes out as the Lion Tamer. I'm just like, still?
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like every week is Lionheart Chris Jericho. We've seen Lionheart Chris Jericho pop up here because somebody says I want the old Jericho, and he does it for that match, and then he goes back to doing what he was doing. He's like he's searching for something. You know, he's just throwing darts. Like I need something to stick. I'm going back to the old music and the old Chris Jericho, and now we have Lion Hook. Nobody asked for it, including Hook.
Nobody. Nobody, yo. Like they really was like, yo, Hook, we gonna give you something to do, man. We know everybody loves you.
Hook
It's
said,
Chris
"Word,
Jericho.
what you got?" And Chris Jericho came from behind a curtain. He's like, "Fuck."
I used to wrestle your father back in the day. It's like, wow, I'm going nowhere with this FTW title. At the end of this, I at least hope Jericho turns heel and wins the FCW championship. At the least.
Damn, I can see him with the FTW title, and maybe that is probably going to be entertaining,
That'll
except for
be
the fact,
ECW Jericho. He'll get back in his ECW
yeah.
bag.
But I'm saying like that could be entertaining if it weren't for the fact that I'm just ready for Jericho to wrap it up. Period. You know what I mean? Like you could a couple of years ago if he were to do something like that, and now we get like a run of like humor slash
Yeah.
hardcore Jericho. Sure, I'm just ready for it. Like wrap this shit up, dog.
Yo, son, I actually could go for Jericho losing his mind this year and just reverting back to all of his old gimmicks on a consistent basis. And he's just in a loop of confusion and just delusion. Like, imagine if he just
Yeah,
brings the list back. Like, I don't know if WWE probably got control of this shit, but the list, the Ayatollah, the light up jacket,
yeah, yeah.
the No Country for Old Men, the the
Yeah,
scarf, like, you know what I'm saying?
all
Like
of that, the pain maker, all of
the
that.
if he just starts recycling through these every month on some like recurring shit, like you don't know what Jericho you're gonna get. I think that would be more interesting than the current Jericho we have. So, Chris Jericho, please, Lord, you're gonna have to pack it up at some point, man. 'Cause this shit getting crazy, bro. This shit getting crazy. Um, we're gonna get closer towards the end of this one. Willow and Rio in a Dynamite main event. Yes, you know we're in a new era of AEW. Or the biggest female free agent, not named Ronda Rousey, just signed with the company. You know what I mean? Sasha, aka, well, really Mercedes Monet, got to get used to saying this more often. She has put a much needed emphasis on this company when it comes to the women's division. I'm not going to sit here and go off the ratings and just be like, oh, the ratings were just like, no, like, let's give this shit a shot. Like, we haven't been enthused with Deonna Purrazzo and Tony Storm as a focal point. So now that we have someone that's main evented WrestleMania, ran main evented many pay per views, is sold out as a movie star, is credible in many companies, we're here to rock, man. Like,
Yeah, and
I'm,
we
I'm
still
here for it.
have DMD coming back as far as like star power. That's who they originally built this division
Yo, that's
around.
what Deonna Purrazzo made me think as she cut her promo backstage. I was like, man, where the fuck is DMD when I need her?
Yeah,
Like, I'm
yeah.
here for DMD just clouding up the world title picture for a little bit. Bring her
There's
back, yo.
there's a lot. I think like DMD and Thunder Rosa, the two like I don't want to say sleepers, and Jamie Hayter. Like Jamie Hayter, I think is a given, but I think like DMD, she comes back and we see some interesting shit with her, and then Thunder Rosa is on Collision right now, who's kind of not
Mhm.
really involved with anybody. So
No, she's just
we
having
have to
matches,
see,
beating chicks up.
yeah, what we've seen AEW do over the last 2 months, let's say, is very clearly, I think, is really once Mercedes Monet put pen to paper. I think from that point it was like, all right, we need to now take a couple of steps forward in figuring out how to make the women's division feel more important.
Yes.
And we've seen, I think Collision has probably been the best representation of that because like just having multiple matches isn't enough. It's like direction for the people that are on these shows. And we have like a very clearly defined TBS division right now. Like Willow has been in there. Like we've seen these guys come out and just do like the same rinse and repeat. I'm gonna kind of interfere while you're beating up my friend. I'm gonna make the save. But now we're getting to a point where there's gonna be a turn, right? We're gonna get Statlander at some point turn on Willow. Willow still has her interaction with Mercedes Monet. Julia
Right.
Hart has the title. That's probably gonna go to Willow at some point. But we don't think Mercedes Monet is gonna go after that title. There's a lot of interesting things just in those 4 or 5 people right there. Um, Another thing that's kind of interesting, speaking about the women's division, is that there's a tag match that's scheduled for I think on next week Dynamite, where um, Tony Storm is teaming up. Damn, what's Mariah May against Deonna Purrazzo and a mystery opponent. Now, I'm not predicting. I don't know how I'll be able to predict. There's no information, but it's interesting to figure out who that person is going to be because whoever that is a new entrant into that circle.
Right.
As far as like storyline and feud and shit like that. Whether it be somebody that returns or not, it'll be somebody that Deonna Purrazzo brings in that we don't have any kind of radar of figuring out who that is because she hasn't been next to anybody else yet. And as far as Deonna, look, man, like I think like she'll probably end up in the TBS division for a bit. She might do like some
That's
women's
a
Ring of
good.
Honor shit.
That's a good one. I honestly want Mercedes or Willow to win the TBS title. Julia Hart's had it. It's been kind of cold. Her popularity, I feel like, isn't as hot as it was when she won the
Yeah,
belt.
it's not.
It's
It's not.
not. So move it on over to Mercedes or Willow, and then let them
Yeah.
reignite their feud. That's it.
I think it's perfect for Willow. I think like again, like I think Mercedes should kind of be away from titles for at least a pay-per-view cycle or two, just to give her something to sink her teeth into that's not getting in the way of what Tony is doing and in the way of what Julie and Willow are doing with that TBS championship because she doesn't need a title immediately. She's gonna make her before the end of the year. Clearly, I think before the summer's over. I think by the like she was gonna win that title over the summer.
There's enough intrigue where there's actually going to be them taking their time to get to Willow Mercedes or Mercedes heel turn or any of the sort. I think for Dynasty, we're going to get Julia and Sky versus Willow and Mercedes. Mercedes' first match back, the ankle, it's got to be safe. tag team match, keep it light, let Willow do a lot of the shit, and let Mercedes get the hot tag. And that in
Yeah,
itself would probably sell the pay per view alone. Just like, I'm actually interested in this one. Like, I wouldn't
yeah,
mind this. This gives Julia and Sky like credibility and something to do because she is the TBS champion. And Deanna and
yeah.
Tony are already, you know, over here. The other
And I
belt.
think like that inevitable Mercedes Monet heel turn should come at the expense of Willow. So there should be underlying tension for a long time, but they never act on it. You know what I
But
mean?
this
Like,
also leaves Statlander. Statlander has to turn heel at some point.
no, I think Stat turns heel like in the next few weeks, the next month or so. But I don't think like Mercedes at some point is going to turn heel because she's too good not to,
Two people
right?
turning heel on Willow, like she's super babyface at that point, like uber
But
babyface.
that's who Willow is. Willow is super
Yes,
babyface.
yes,
Willow
yes,
is
yes.
fucking old. Willow is NXT Bailey,
But
as
two
far as like
people though turning on her, like it's just weaving in Statlander and Mercedes' turn. Like Statlander comes
but
first and
it
Mercedes
worked
comes
for
third.
Sting. It worked
True.
for Sting. You know what I mean? Like Sting at some point was just like, damn, you trusted this guy again, bro. Luger, you didn't think he was gonna turn on you again. Flair, you didn't think he was gonna turn on you. You thought you were really a member of the Horsemen. You ain't see that coming from Oli
This is really a resuscitation of Willow, and I think her being the underling of sorts to Mercedes along this new inkling
for a while, hundred
for a
percent.
while, I think would be
Yeah,
really dope.
but that's the
Really
turn.
dope.
When we get heel Mercedes, it's gonna come at the expense of that, and then we're gonna get the promos like, "Yo, bitch, you took a year away from me."
Yeah,
It,
I
it
didn't
it's
forget.
written itself. We don't need to immediately do it.
I
Just
did
let
not
that
forget
let that
this.
tension be there and let us kind of, damn, it's gonna come, but I don't know when it's gonna come. Pause. Like at some point,
Mercedes sees that Willow already has her own shit going on, and the Statlander shit, she's gonna be like, I
yeah,
saw that shit coming. Like I knew Statlander was
yeah,
gonna turn on. You think I haven't been in a tag team where my partners turned on me before? Like
100%. And it's gonna mean so much more once we've seen Willow accomplish something on TV. Like we
when the
saw her
T
win the
the
Owen Hart, and
TBS
it did
title
right.
to feud with Mercedes. Oh God,
Yeah, like there's some shit going. There's some shit
that is
that.
beautiful.
So I think like that the Mercedes Monet effect is there has to be a legitimate focus and spotlight on what she does because of what you're paying her,
Yes,
plus other people to make the division interesting enough to give her something to sink her teeth into. And this is the rising ship raises all tides or whatever the saying is. This is why it's important to bring her in here. You know what I
agreed.
mean? And now we get an opportunity to let it sink or swim time. Same thing that happens with the men's division is about to happen with the women's division. Sink or swim. You can be talented, but there's going to be opportunity, and you either step up or it's wrapped up for you.
That's a fact. That's a fact. And I think it was a
It's
strong dynamite for me. Strong,
love
strong,
it,
strong dynamite. Like it's a
loved it.
new, fresh coat of paint on dynamite, man. Like
Yeah,
I
loved it.
can't say like the bad didn't outweigh the good for a change.
They were
We've
really
sat
just
through
two.
shows where the
They
good,
were
where,
two
where the
bad things for
bad
me.
has
Yeah, they
outweighed
were.
the good.
There were two bad things for me: Chris and Jericho. you know what I mean? There were two bad
He's
things.
got
Like
to go.
Wardlow booking aside, there's still some shit that he's going to be involved in. You know what I mean? He's
Yes,
not going to be a world champ anytime soon, but there's still a couple of different things, at least that make sense storyline wise, that he's going to be doing. Just keep Jericho off fucking TV.
it's wild when Chris Jericho is the worst part of a program. What a time we're in.
AEW outgrew Chris Jericho. That's the
Yeah,
reality.
you really think it's time for a Chris Jericho WWE return?
I think it's time to end the show.
Yeah, let him have his legacy
Smokes.
act, man. Let him have his legacy run, yo.
Put him in the Hall of Fame. Let him do
There we
busted open.
go.
Yeah, yeah. Put him in the Hall of Fame.
There we go. There we go. Now we touch base on every show, man. We touch base on NXT, TNA, SmackDown, Raw, Dynamite. This is one of those few episodes where we literally just get y'all everything that happened during the week. Y'all can't say we ain't touch base about nothing. You know what I'm saying? Gave it to y'all raw and uncut. Pause. Law take. You know what I'm saying? On the house. Shit is pretty
Yeah,
dope, man.
I missed the signature move this week. I might even just record another episode maybe tomorrow or something like that,
It's
just to
all
put it
good.
up before the weekend. And then we get back on track usually Mondays 7:05 live, you know what I mean?
So I guess we could end it here, but I also wanted to touch base real quick. What was your stance on that Goldberg streak, yo? This is just clickbait.
Goldberg streak, I
I
think
sat through
was
Goldberg streak. We was gonna talk about it on Signature Move, but I sat through Goldberg streak, yo, the other day, and I was like, wow, I kind of don't care about streaks in wrestling anymore. Like, I really don't. Like, it doesn't matter. A lot of these guys are jobbers, and he's beaten them 4 or 5 times in a row, over and over again. And really, only about 5 people mattered out of that whole 100 and something streak.
but I
DDP,
think
Scott Hall.
there was novelty there though. I think with Goldberg it was really cool because we hadn't seen, at least in my lifetime. I don't know
No,
how,
and I agree.
you know what I mean? I think it was really cool because we hadn't seen anything like that before.
No
Plus,
cameras.
Goldberg's move set was so unique and intense and impactful
Yes,
that it was like a perfect storm. You know, it was the perfect energy. The crowds were giving it up. I think streaks don't work anymore. Short term streaks do because you can build to somebody they're on a hot streak and now they want to contend for a title. But just having somebody be undefeated, you're never going to eclipse what Goldberg did.
no,
So,
no,
but it's always going to be compared to Goldberg, which is the problem.
absolutely. It really feels like an MJ. It's like stat. Like,
Look at
and
what they
I
do with Wardlow. Goes on a hot streak, and they do the Wardlow chants in the same cadence that they do Goldberg, but it's never going to eclipse Goldberg's.
because he didn't even win anything at the end of his streak. He just lost it, and just that was that. I mean,
But even before we knew what he was going to win and whether he was going to win or not, speaking of Wardlow, the comparisons were right. The same thing with
yes,
Ryback, but Ryback was never going to eclipse Goldberg. So you have to do something different. Like that streak is the greatest streak that we'll ever see
I
because it
agree.
was so fresh at the time.
I never saw it before, yo. So I had to sit through it, and I watched it, and I watched all hour of it. And honestly, I was like, this is rinse, cycle, repeat. But he switches up the move sets and some of the shit he does. He does have some moves. He's
Yeah,
jumping, kicking, power slam. I saw a throwaway power slam that I've never seen before. That even the announcer was like, I've never even seen this before. What the
yeah,
fuck is this?
yeah. Some of that shit, like dude, even like simple things like the gorilla press into the power
Power
slam, that
slam.
combination was fresh. You know, they were
He
just different moves that you hadn't seen. We hadn't seen a spear like that before. We hadn't seen a
I watched the
jackhammer.
progress of the spear. I didn't realize that they didn't even know what to call it. They were like a suplex
Yeah,
slam.
yeah,
Like, yeah, it's a two
yeah,
step. It's a setup. It's a two move. One, here comes step one. Here comes step two. I was like, I've
yep,
never heard this before. Huh? Like they didn't know what to do. And I thought that was really dope. Something that'll never be achieved again. And just even watching wrestling at that time, there's no photography, barely any photography. So it's just people just like I'm looking more so at the crowd reaction because every match is rinse cycle repeat. So like by number fucking 50, I'm just looking at the crowd and they're all just in different cities, just like getting up, like here we go. Like you
yeah,
could tell like off one spear they're already just like oh, 1, 2, 3. Like they're already just on go mode. Like what a time to have been witnessing that. Like because I could tell he was had to have been the focal point. You know what I'm saying of
yeah,
that whole timepiece, bro. Like he was
yeah.
coming through that whole '98, just whooping ass. So I guess this just brings it to it, and we'll touch base on this in a later pod. But is Goldberg the biggest babyface of all time? It's hard to debate that. It's very hard to debate that. This is for a group pod at a later time, but it's been on my mind since I watched that streak, and I feel like Goldberg is the biggest babyface, one of the biggest babyfaces of all time.
I give him the one of.
Yeah,
I
one
give
of
him the
them.
one of
Definitely
because
one of
like his peak as far as how hot he was is just an undeniable thing. You just look at the crowd reaction and look at the fact that man, he was never even able to eclipse that as far as his career is concerned.
no.
You know what I mean? So yeah, he's up there as far as like dog weird. You hit getting that hot is like hitting lotto.
Yes.
You know what I mean? There are very few people that are able to reach that peak in popularity. Goldberg was up there, bro.
The signs, the people, the popularity, sports, entertainment, culture. Like, I
Yeah,
really to think, I was like, bro, when was Goldberg ever a heel? Oh, the times that people in 2004 and 2003 used to boo him in the WWE because they were sick of the same song and dance. Oh,
yeah, because you can't rinse and repeat that shit. It was a moment in time. Yo, you have to be pretty damn hot to get a clean win over Hogan. You know what I'm saying? Like, talk about final boss energy.
that was
For
crazy.
Hogan backstage to say, "All right, I'll do the job clean."
Kevin Nash and Scott Hall dog walked the whole WCW locker room for a later topic. on the NWO.
Yeah, well,
That was insane, by the way, because that's
it
how
was.
the streak ended. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So, like,
yeah.
as I did my research and did the knowledge, I'm like, holy shit. Like,
Which, by the way, today I think 2 year anniversary of Scott Hall passing. So
yo,
rest in
rest
peace
in
to that
peace,
man.
Scott Hall, man. Also, happy birthday, my man Scotland. You know what I'm saying?
Word
Black
up.
Eye Wrestling Pod. You know what I mean? Happy birthday to the homie. We out of here, man. We done talked it
Out
up,
of here.
recapped it up, y'all. Later.
2 1/4. You heard. Episode 80 next week. Ringside Club.
Mm.